Let me tell you a story, beholden to the hive mind, of the stripping down of powerful creatures, dark and harrowing shortcuts to eternal life. This is not just a tale of the dominion over others, but also of the trappings of minds and souls for the purposes of great unrest.
Hey there, creatures, and welcome to Encounter This, a podcast exploration of the creatures from Dungeons & Dragons and the lore that surrounds them. Hey there, creatures, and welcome to another episode of Encounter This. I am your co-host, James. Can I get a witness? Kid. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Freeman Eureka Iceton. Today we're going to look at 3 different creatures, but I don't know if that's entirely true. We're going to look at the Alhoon on Volo's Guide to Monsters 172, Ulitharids in Volo's Guide to Monsters on 175, and the Elder Brain in Volo's Guide to Monsters 176.
It's supposed to be Mindwitness. I screwed it up. It's the Mindwitness. I just forgot to replace it in the notes.
Okay. And today we're going to dig into part 4 of the Illithids, an episode we are calling Existential Crises. We're going to be looking at the Alhoon on Volo's Guide to Monsters 172, Ulitharids on page 175, and the Mindwitness on page 176. Freeman is going to take us there.
I will do such a thing. And in fact, we're going to do it in reverse order of what you listed.
Okay.
Because why not? At first, I was wondering, should I do it in CR order? And I was like, well, that's not necessarily true. Like, it doesn't have to be in that order. So let's do it how it feels fit. Let's do it how it feels right. And turned out it was CR order. So we're going with Mindwitness first.
All right.
So the Mindwitness is basically, if a beholder, trademark, which is a CR13 creature, should find itself stunned, captured, and safely dragged or drug, if you will, to a Mind Flayer colony, it will find itself placed inside an Elder Brain's brine pool and undergoing the process of ceramorphosis, which we've discussed previously.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
it's actually a beholder.
It is a beholder. So this is one of the detailed Illithid creations that we find in Volo's Guide. In the very first Mind Flayer episode, we discussed a number of them. There was a kind of a long list of them, but this is one that is properly detailed. And once it's in there and it goes through the process of ceramorphosis, there's usually 10 eye stalks on a beholder, and 4 of those turn into tentacles, which is a very Illithid thing. And its eye rays are altered. And then the mouth actually is likely to take on a more lamprey-like feature.
Gross.
And you'll find it's not that aspect is not reflected in the 5e art, but is very much in the 3e art.
Okay. I mean, it's good that it's not reflected in the 5e art. For those of you out there who have not seen a lamprey mouth, just don't. It is horrifying.
They're not pleasant. They're not pleasant at all. I'm going to quickly send you both pictures on Discord. And you can clearly tell which one is lamprey and which one is not, because the one that's not doesn't even have a mouth. So
yeah, that's not that lamprey.
It's actually not even very lamprey, is it? Yeah, actually, now that I look at it.
And if I'm looking at this art, I think that mouth is actually underneath the body, so like between the 4 tentacles on the 5e is where that
likely
mouth
would be. Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah.
So the mouth migrates downward.
Right. Which makes it no less unsettling.
Nope, still horrifying as hell.
Still terrible. And so, regardless of this like intense transformation, it does, however, It does, however, retain a close likeness to the previous beholder itself, and it retains a natural buoyancy. So, like, whatever color the beholder was before, whatever, like, sort of various features beyond 4 of the 10 tentacles changing and the eye rays being altered, it does retain its previous sort of image or description, if you will.
Are beholders buoyant? Is that a thing in the lore that I've missed?
It's not even really a lore thing. It's actually more of a mechanical thing. They have a fly speed and they can hover. That's it.
What does that have to do with buoyancy?
Well,
buoyancy is a displacement of water. Buoyancy means it can float.
Well, they're floating in air, James.
Oh,
that's what they do. That's what they do.
I can't argue with that. I just did not realize that there was a definition of buoyancy that referred to floatability.
I mean, I don't know the definition of buoyancy. I did not think to. Regrettably, I did not think to look it up exactly. I'm sure buoyancy applies to air, not just liquids and fluids and water. But regardless, that's how it's described.
Okay. No, I mean, they have plenty of things I don't know.
Buoyancy. Maybe they're just full of gas, hot air, even.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not Googling what buoyancy means.
Yeah, there's no time for that. We have loads to cover, so let's move on.
Absolutely. Spoiler, it is not the correct word.
Damn it. You Googled it. How dare you? I'm sure we'll come back to it later. So basically, when a beholder goes through this transformation, their intelligence actually does drop a bit. Specifically, it goes from an ability score of 17 to 15. So not a lot, but it still does drop. And this makes it specifically less liable to endanger an Illithid colony. And then they are psionically imprinted with devotion to the Elder Brain and submissiveness to other Illithids in the colony, including intellect devourers.
So they're the low bean on the totem pole.
They're one of the lower beans on that totem pole for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a mixed metaphor right there. Bean on a totem pole.
I have been drinking.
So have I. We're off to a good start, guys. Also, I'm just going to throw this out here right now. I had an old tooth repair in my front two teeth fall away yesterday. So I'm struggling a little bit with my speech. So combine that with some beers, we're screwed.
You okay though?
Oh, I'm fine. There's no pain.
Okay.
It's just an expensive, unnecessary, shitty fix. But there it is. So getting back to the Mindwitness, the primary purpose of their creation is to actually improve the telepathic communication within the Elder Brain's influence. So you might remember how the Elder Brain could only have up to 10 creatures locked into communication with their psychic link ability. Well, this allows... we actually did criticize that when we talked about the Elder Brain. And, I mean, it still might be a legitimate criticism, but it stands to reason that, when it comes to the Elder Brain Mind Flayers, they are very much involved in their colony. It's all about the colony and how it works as an entity in the hive mind, right? So a mind witness is very likely to be a genuine a backbone to this. And so basically, when they are telepathically connected to a mind witness, a mind witness can allow that a communication from the Elder Brain to spread up to another 7 creatures. And we will discuss this more in the mechanics because we will talk about the range and function of that.
Okay.
So keep that in your back pocket.
So that's the 6 tentacles that's the 6 stalks that didn't turn into tentacles, and the eye on the body is those 7 creatures, I'm guessing.
That's not even at all did I think of that. That makes, I guess, sense. 10 tentacles and 1 eye. It's 11 minus 4 is 7. Yeah, shit. James Kidd, everyone, was a clever son of a bitch. So
math magician.
He's a mathematician. It did not occur to me at all. But yeah, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. What a strange thing to compile, but there it is. I'm sure there was some of that in the creation of this creature.
Well, you set up to 7 creatures that it can see, and it can only see in 7 directions at once.
Right, yeah. Right, and it specifically does say that it can see. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty damn cool.
Live revelations on Encounter This.
You heard it here first. So now, of course, this allows for more extension and rapid communication of commands within the full sort of telepathic hub of the Elder Brain and its underlings.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like an Aeroport or an Ansible.
Whatever those two things are, I'm sure it's like those.
Aeroport is the Mac thing that allows you to expand your Wi-Fi network, and an Ansible is the thing from Ender's Game that allows them to communicate between planets.
Gotcha. So the first one is non-applicable because who cares about Mac? And the last one is cool because I haven't read Ender's Game, but I love the idea of it.
Apparently Orson Scott Card is a monster. But the books are really good.
So even when it comes to a Mindwitness, when it is separated, it of course has that risk of being separated from the colony, like any other creature. And when it does, it actually seeks out to serve another creature, especially telepathic creatures, because it has an innate nature, like it needs to be commanded. And I feel like that's a little bit reflected in the reduction of intelligence, where it for some reason it cannot function on its own anymore. It needs to be given commands and needs to be part of a larger collective.
Do you know if there's a reduction in wisdom as well?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I'm sure we could discover that quickly.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because in past editions, instead of it being your 5 saves, you had your 3 saves, reflex, fortitude, and will save, and I think will is connected to wisdom. So I'm wondering if there's a reduction in wisdom as well, because that would reflect a deterioration in their willpower.
All right, well, I did quickly find it, and our beholder has a 15 wisdom, giving it a +2.
Okay.
And the Mindwitness has the same.
You know what? Fuck past editions, I guess.
One thing is for sure is that balance changes, balance and justifying balance changes a lot of that lore, or what you would expect from the lore anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a result of the Mindwitness needing to find another sort of creature to serve, again, telepathic creatures, they tend to fall into one of 2 categories. One's a little more broad and one's very specific. But flumps, are you familiar with flumps?
You know, so
flumps.
I love flumps. So when I bought the Monster Manual, listeners, I bought the Monster Manual full 3 years before I got my first game up and running. It was the first D&D book I ever bought, was the 5e Monster Manual. I was flipping through it, and I saw a photo of a flump, and I showed it to my buddy Kevin, who was sitting next to me, and he just like, no, I'm now never going to play D&D. And I knew at that moment that I needed to play this game because of the picture of a flump.
Is that Kevin Riches?
That's Kevin Riches, yeah.
Oh my God. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Still never played it.
That's what flumps. I honestly don't know much about them. I know they're. I'm pretty sure they're lawful good creatures. They're at least good.
I don't know a thing about them. I just know they're also fucking adorable.
They also live under in the Underdark, more or less, and they are telepathic spaghetti monsters. They're flying spaghetti monsters, is what they are.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like 2 eyes on a plate.
Yeah, and they just have all these like weird little tentacles coming off of them, and they're properly adorable for like a really weird. Like if you look at a Mindwitness, and then you look at a flump, they're basically the same, but one is horrifying and one is adorable.
It's the eye stalks, I think.
Yeah. It's definitely the eye stalks. So flumps find themselves occasionally in charge of mind witnesses because they do have telepathic abilities. They are intelligent creatures, and these things sort of like if they happen to wander off, then a flump might find one having one in its service. So
amazing.
On the other
there's
side,
your adventure hook.
Yeah, there's your adventure hook. On the other side of things, of course, demons, especially telepathic demons, will find themselves the masters of mind witnesses that have been lost. That's no one wins. No one wins in that scenario.
No. Are a lot of demons telepathic? I haven't really dug into the demon.
I mean, me neither. I didn't really dive into it here. It was a sort of a general reference, just like sort of covering when a mind witness wanders off. But
yeah, I didn't expect you to dive into it. I just was wondering if you knew offhand.
But I assume there are several.
Feel free to reach out to us in the Discord and let us know if what's your favorite telepathic demon, listeners.
Give us your number one telepathic demon. That's it makes demon sound even more terrifying, doesn't it? When you put telepathic on the front.
It does, but a lot of them don't have like real faces. Like a quasit is just like a mosquito thing. It's got a proboscis. Right. It doesn't really have like a mouth, so I guess it adds up.
Yeah. Fair enough. The one thing that is a bit terrifying about a mind witness sort of being influenced by something other than the elder brain is that it will shift its world views according to whatever master sort of governs it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so it is that desperate, it is that needy for commandment and that sort of thing, and instruction.
Gotcha.
That if it serves a flump, it becomes a good creature, But if it serves a demon or it serves something else, it becomes evil. It might become chaotic, But it retains its abilities, its innate abilities as a result of the ceramorphosis, but it 100% aligns with its master.
I like that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really digging the idea of like a unicorn-controlled mind witness.
That'd be good. I mean, to be fair, from what I recall with the unicorns, it's more likely that the Kirin would be likely to control one as opposed to a unicorn, because they're a little more bestial, a little more erratic.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that's it for the mind witness.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's all right. I only have a few bullet points really there, but it's an interesting topic, that's for sure. And it's only going to get more complicated from here. So,
okay. I guess let's buckle down and get her done.
So next we're going to talk about the Ulitharid. We've talked about them briefly before, particularly in the original Mind Flayer episode.
The Patreon exclusive Mind Flayer episode?
No. Because technically that's not a Mind Flayer episode. It's a sort of foundation for the Mind Flayer episode, right? So in the Mind Flayer episode, we talked about, again, same with the Mind Witness, we've talked about various versions of Mind Flayers. Some of them the result of ceramorphosis. Some of them just sort of connected, like a Mind Flayer of Thune, that sort of thing. Some of them worshipping, sort of entities or philosophies of some kind. But the Ulitharid is one we definitely talked about, and it is a very rare occurrence in which a Mind Flayer is birthed from the Elder Brain's brine pool, and it has a trademark 6-tentacle face as opposed to the usual 4. And this is a sure indication that a Ulitharid has been spawned. And all Mind Flayers and Illithids recognize that the survival of a Ulitharid is prioritized above its own.
Interesting.
So this is that's like one of the most immediate things that happens, is that a Ulitharid is prioritized above a Mind Flayer or other Illithids' own. And you couple this with the unique invulnerability of the Elder Brain's sway, like the sort of pseudo or the technical invulnerability of the Elder Brain's sway. And this is a clear sign of a potential threat to the Elder Brain's domination on colony. So when I first talked about this creature, it was like it's immune to the Elder Brain's sway, which is relatively true. But also, on top of that, other mind flayers see it as something that needs to survive before them. Before a Ulitharid is born, the only thing they see as that is the Elder Brain.
Right.
So it stands to reason that the Elder Brain would be threatened, right? And so a response from the Elder Brain can vary quite a bit. Most commonly, the Ulitharid is actually given power and authority as a sort of investment from the Elder Brain. Otherwise, an Elder Brain might see it as an immediate threat and will work very quickly and constantly to manipulate it and destroy its opportunities of acquiring enough power to be an actual rival.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And regardless, the Elder Brain will find it exceedingly difficult to have the Ulitharid outright killed because of what I just said earlier. Other mind flayers and Illithids want it to survive. They see it as a priority. So there's this weird sort of power struggle going on that's out of control of both powers. And assuming the prior occurs, or perhaps the latter is successful, the Ulitharid will eventually find that remaining in the colony is insufferable due to the Elder Brain's control. So it's just like it's pretty. It doesn't take long for the Ulitharid to realize that this is not an ideal environment to be in. It's going to be constant conflict, and this causes the Ulitharid to round up a group of mind flayers to serve it and head off to found its own colony.
So it only takes a small amount.
It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long because it's the sort of it's status quo in the colony, right? Like everyone sort of understands they're all on the same level. The moment one of these things is born and is essentially able to exist independently, and it very much exists independently, well, there you go. Like it's automatically going to cause problems in the colony, right?
So it's prioritized above all other mind flayers and Illithids, but technically still below the Elder Brain. Is that right?
I mean, that's where the gray area is. Is it below or is it on par with the Elder Brain? Regardless, that's not good enough for the Elder Brain, and it's definitely not good enough for the Ulitharid either.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
that's where your conflict comes in. So they take off, and eventually the Ulitharid takes off, and with his little small coven of mind flayers, and eventually it will die, and its brain is placed in a new brine pool where it will form into a new Elder Brain with only a few days. We've definitely discussed this previously. However, if the Ulitharid dies of natural causes, likely caused by old age, it cannot turn into an Elder Brain, as the brain is considered to be too aged, or is literally biologically too aged for the transformation to take place.
That's a really neat caveat.
Yeah. So instead, the Ulitharid they carry a psionically enhanced staff known as an extractor staff, and it's made of this sort of black metal. How they get it and how they create it, I don't know. But when they are ready to give up their life, they attach the staff to the back of their own head, where it cracks open their skull and allows the brain to be extracted. The brain and staff are then placed inside the corpse of the Ulitharid, which dissolves into a psionically potent ichor that starts the creation of the brine pool. And the transformation of the Elder Brain begins.
Gross.
So, yeah, it's a really...
Pulls out its own brain, stuffs it inside its own chest cavity, and becomes its nursery for its brain to grow
it doesn't stuff it inside its own... I assume that it's what few mind flayers it's managed to sort of corral and bring outside of the other brain. They're the ones responsible of finishing the ritual, if you will. So they do. They have to be ready to give up their own life, ready to become an Elder Brain. The staff that they create allows their brain to be extracted, and then the rest is up to the servants. And then from there, a new elder brain is created in a brine pool.
That would be such a fucking sweet encounter. Like midway through a campaign, you face off against a Ulitharid, and then it pulls its own fucking brain out instead of dying. And then a whole bunch of mind flayers just usher it away.
Yeah. And then a few more come at you. Oh, man. You're not wrong. There's your adventure hook right there.
Fuck. There's your adventure end right there, motherfuckers. That's so dope.
And then you all dead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you top this with the Alhoon? Tell me about the Alhoon.
Oh my god, the Alhoon is really cool.
Okay.
I know you and I briefly talked about I thought you knew more about the Alhoon, and you were like, no, I don't know much. I was like, we totally faced one. You were like, you did? You clearly used the stat block, but didn't use any of the lore, which is totally fine.
It was a one-shot. I put it together.
Yeah, it was a one-shot. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But here is the lore, and they're pretty cool. Okay. I will preface this with the fact that I'm less enthused about the stat blocks in general in this episode. But there is some...
That should just be our t-shirt. Encounter this. Less enthused with the stat blocks.
Less enthused. It's a good slogan. It's right up there with here's your adventure hook, I guess.
There's another one too that's on our Twitter. I can't remember what it is, but it came from the unicorn. Superfluous or something like that.
That sounds like a word we'd make up. Yeah, that sounds all right. All right, the Alhoon. We'll start with what I've listed as the basics.
Okay.
So exiled mind flayers, we've talked about this briefly before again, who pursue the arcane arts will not be granted the, quote, eternal communion the Elder Brain offers.
Those are very religious words.
Yes. This results in them searching for secrets of lichdom to escape death.
Okay.
The path to lichdom is described as long and solitary, but mind flayers who find and utilize a sort of shortcut become what is known as an Alhoon.
So dope.
Yeah, that's your foundation. It's a
shortcut.
That's a shortcut. It's a shortcut to lichdom, yeah. So here's the background on it. So we know that Elder Brains forbid Mind Flayers from learning magic outside of their own psionics. We've talked
arcane
about
magic.
Mind Flayer Arcanists, yeah. Arcane magic, yes, specifically. And, and they become exiled, or they are considered what you would call deviants. This, of course, is not something
Yet
Elder Brains...
another religious word, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you heard it here, folks. Illithidry is a cult.
It's... the cultiest of cults. It is a proper cult. That's actually a very good way of putting it. It is a cult. It just like it changes and morphs sort of ideologies into something unique enough that it feels like it can be justified as something not the same. And so this sort of
describing Christianity.
Yeah, seriously. And many of its it's be a hard one to edit.
Just cut everything out for the last 10 minutes. We'll be fine.
So this forbiddance of mind flayers pursuing magic outside of psionic power means that an elder brain often does not need to worry about enforcing such forbiddance regularly, because everyone's sort of, it's a hive mind, right? Like it doesn't happen very often. But and this is not only because of the Elder Brain's influence, but because, and I quote from the Monster Manual, or sorry, I think it's from Volo's Guide, and I actually love this line. It says, Illithids brook no masters, but members of their own kind. Meaning the influence or worshipping of other gods isn't even likely to be noticed by Illithids. Like it's not even remotely considered.
Right. I like that.
Right?
It's very similar to like the anarchist credo, no gods, no masters.
Right. Yeah, it's just absolutely none. Of our own kind, yes, that's the Elder Brain, but otherwise, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Now, because of this very specific sort of idea when it comes to arcane magic, this means that wizardry is a bit of a rare temptation, because wizardry is not about having a master. It's about understanding something, right? It's about a high intellect understanding of, I guess, supernatural things and physics and that sort of thing. So within spell books, an Illithid might actually see the opportunity or, quote, systems to acquire authority, something they crave and work towards despite the Elder Brain's eternal authority. Again, we talked about it previously. They aspire to more power, with the Elder Brain always being at the top. Now, most Mind Flayers that find a spellbook will treat it with, again, I'm going to do a lot of this, quote, abhorrence or indifference. But some are a rare few that will see its pages and perceive the workings within as something from a highly intelligent mind and a gateway to new thinking. So a lot of this is like semi-quoted from Volo's Guide. And the study of such books can actually be hidden from other Illithids, including the Elder Brain, for a short time. And this is because it only becomes obvious when the Illithid sees the value in it. Which means when they understand its contents. So they can actually see that it's complicated when they first look at it and understand that complication might result in something. That's the uniqueness of the Mind Flayer or Illithid that sees it. If they see a potential in something that they don't understand, that's what makes them stand out. But they can hide the fact that they see that potential to start. Once they understand what that potential is, the Elder Brain knows. The colony knows. They are connected enough that they become a target, and they have become a rebel and, again, a deviant.
Gotcha.
It is when understanding no longer eludes them that they can become caught. They can be caught by the colony. And this new Mind Flayer Arcanist is what they become if they still live shortly after discovering this, after having this eureka moment.
Eureka!
That's when they have to flee the colony to survive. And exile, specifically, is self-imposed. And that's a very important part. The colony does not exile an Arcanist. An Arcanist exiles themselves from the colony.
This all adds up, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't touch on it before, but I also didn't know that before. And it makes so much more sense.
In something where you want everyone to be the same, someone thinking or something thinking differently is dangerous to the status quo.
Right. And it becomes it becomes a target, or it's to be quashed as opposed to exiled, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So they exile themselves for the sake of survival.
Makes sense.
And so now we'll talk about what the result of freedom is. Facing their first taste of freedom, literally their first taste of freedom, it must be quite overwhelming. And various Arcanists, Mind Flayer Arcanists, will react in varying ways.
I have a feeling this is going to be very similar to the first time a lot of us go off to college.
It's like growing up, yeah. It's not a huge list of possibilities, but here we have again, quote, some prize their privacy and become more reclusive, which makes sense. Others, James relates, others seek to commune with other like-minded individuals. Kind of why and how we created this podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
And some seek to destroy their colony or another and claim leadership normally only held by an Elder Brain.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. A sort of seek revenge, which I can kind of understand. But also a want for claim of leadership, which falls in line with, regardless of Elder Brain influence, a Mind Flayer mentality.
Yeah, it's very dramatic.
Yeah.
I like that it's dramatic, but it is very, very dramatic.
Yeah. Now, regardless of its new motivations, an Arcanist does face an existential crisis of never communing with the Elder Brain. So I'm gonna say a lot of things again and again. I think, but we talked about this. An Elder Brain, when a Mind Flayer dies, their brain is like put into a funerary jar. It is bestowed upon the Elder Brain, and it communes and ideally lives eternally. Everything for Illithids and Mind Flayers is about the mind as opposed to the soul, and to have that live on is the ultimate concept. So when an Arcanist leaves the colony in this way, death becomes a much more permanent concept, which is very terrifying to them. And Alhoons are distinctively ignored, feared, and hated by mortal Illithids. So there's just like absolutely no way they can ever find themselves available to be entered into the Elder Brain or carried on in that manner.
Right.
So this, of course, leads to the path to lichdom. And it becomes a very much big part of their sort of outlook and picture.
Yes,
and
please.
Mind Flayer. Sorry, say again?
Yes, please. I love my undeads.
Yeah. And so Mind Flayers are already used to feeding on brains of hapless victims and such. And so they have zero reservations about feeding souls to a phylactery, which is a necessary requirement for a lich's survival. What they do struggle with is that not only discovering the secrets of acquiring a lichdom is that hard and difficult, but there's also a requirement of reaching sort of their apex in arcane power. Like they have to be an arcane spellcaster at the top level of ability. And this is actually inherently difficult for an Illithid to reach. Because they are not used to it. They do not. They start on a foundation that abhors it with their psionic abilities, and so they are already at a disadvantage of acquiring lichdom. It's what they more or less need or want the most to pursue their own arcanist gains, but they are at a massive disadvantage compared to anyone else. And despite their innate power, which I thought was pretty fascinating.
For those of you out there who are running an undead campaign, I need you to homebrew me a Mind Flayer Nothic and send me the stat block.
That'd be so cool.
That's all I can think about is this one-eyed, four-tentacled monster.
So this is all like a build-up to how an Alhoon can be and where they've come from, and we're going to dive right into that.
Okay, let's do it.
This path to lichdom, it started with a group of 9 Mind Flayers. I do not have their names, so don't ask. And these Mind Flayers were confronted with the daunting hurdle of avoiding death, and they combined their arcane and psionic powers to, quote, weave a new truth.
I love that term.
Very intense. I promise you it's not elaborated on.
I have no doubt.
That's what they do. And
what is Eric Mona doing these days? Let's get him on this.
Seriously. The nine Mind Flayers, they called themselves the Alhoon. That's where the name comes from.
Okay.
And any Mind Flayer that followed in their footsteps has been referred to as the same name, essentially.
And I'm guessing we don't have a translation for that, eh?
We do not. I did not come across any particular translation. Yeah, I actually was thinking about that today. How frustrating! It's a little bit frustrating on that. We've had a couple of those that were sort of satisfying, I guess, or they elaborated, but we don't get it here.
Yeah.
But regardless, we do have some insight into what the Alhoon did, what they accomplished, what makes an Alhoon. And so basically a group of Mind Flayer Arcanists that can cooperate in creating what is known as a periapt of mind trapping. Periapt is like a sort of it's like a vessel. It's like a little, it's like a fancy word for like a charm or an amulet. That's it.
Yeah, there's a couple of periapts in the DMG.
Right, yeah. A couple of magic items with that moniker. And basically, it requires a minimum of 3 arcanists and an equal number of souls from living creatures to perform this ritual. Yeah, so it started with 9, but it's a minimum of 3. And it's a 3-day-long ritual to conduct using both arcane spellcasting and psionics on a periapt made of silver, emerald, and amethyst. After the ritual is finished, free-willed undeath, which is another quote, is bestowed upon the arcanists, creating Alhoons.
So I need to clarify this because I'm not sure I'm following. So an Alhoon is anybody who follows in this footsteps of this 9. But they're technically not an Alhoon until they become undead.
Yeah, sort of. I think that there's a sort of a weird gray area with the...
So Alhoon is the journeyman and Alhoon is the destination?
So I think it's that the 9 that discovered this, what we described earlier as a sort of shortcut to lichdom, they called themselves the Alhoon. And once they completed their task, anyone who followed their footsteps was referred to as one of the Alhoon.
So is that somebody who's on their way to becoming?
No. I think I suppose that makes sense. When they say follow their footsteps, I personally think that it's like once you've achieved the ritual being completed and you have found the result of again free-willed on death, you are an Alhoon. Yeah.
So becoming an Alhoon is like completing your journeyman ticket.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Gotcha. So in North America, you're not an Alhoon until you get your red seal and psionics and arcane magic.
You're just an aspiring Alhoon.
Yeah. Whereas in Europe, you're a journeyman,
not a chef.
Yeah. You're a journeyman until you get your ticket in Alhoon.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally. There is a certain level of spotting. I've listed this little thing called spotting the difference. So basically, at first, someone who does achieve Alhoondom, I'm calling it Alhoondom now, they're basically nearly indistinguishable from other mind flayers with like a specific exception. Basically, they no longer produce the normally ever-present mucus that coats their skin. And this causes their skin to dry and crack, and their eyes become sunken and shriveled. Now, both are sort of features, or differences easily missed by creatures that are unfamiliar or have never seen a mind flayer. So generally, they might never see the difference, which is kind of a cool idea to work with when you're playing with players that haven't encountered one yet, or characters that haven't encountered one yet. And so you could just like not allow players to know straight up, despite the results of their checks, that this is an Alhoon versus a mind flayer, because they wouldn't necessarily know the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So it's a small thing, but it goes somewhere, right?
And it's also very fair, which I find is not always prevalent in these differences between creatures.
Right.
The difference between you can easily it's fair to the GM. Because you can easily describe dry and cracky skin versus smooth and moist,
mucus,
I guess.
Covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an easy physical description for you to slip in to give the players everything that they need to know that it's an Alhoon versus a mind flayer,
right,
without actually having to give it away. Whereas I find that a lot of the time, these subtle differences aren't so subtle in the physical descriptions.
Right.
So it's
great.
Nice.
You'd be like, you see this creature, and perhaps maybe the player is not familiar. Like, you see this creature, it's got 4 tentacles in its face, and it stands so high, and its skin is cracked and dry. if the player or the character don't know what skin cracked and dry means, they might just panic and say mind flare, and what they actually have in front of them is something much more powerful.
Yeah, and I like
means
that.
They should panic more.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think it's very similar to the difference between like ghoul and ghast. Like you can really get the difference across in the description for the people in the know. Mm-hmm. And I like that little bit of I guess insider trading for it's almost like a reward for players who have been playing this game for forever. And I like that because it doesn't actually exclude other players.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And that, again, I'm right with you. I love that. I absolutely love that that sort of subtle difference that gives you a little extra room to work with when it comes to narrative and story and GMing.
And it's almost a reward for being a fan. And I like when things do that, especially this game, because I don't find it particularly often. You get rewarded for being a fan of this game long term without actually getting, more information as a player. So I'm into that a lot.
Yeah. I just shared with you a couple of pictures. I think one's from 3rd edition, one's from 5th edition of the Alhoon.
I mean, one is definitely not from 5th edition, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think it's the second one I sent. The one with the blue skirts on him. Very much more. And you can see the sort of sunken eyes, the withered sort of look to the skin. And as it's described as sort of the flesh is withered away and the eyes become small pinpricks of cold light, and that's a very lich-like feature specifically. So regardless, they do sort of achieve that physical description, at least over time.
So I really like the 5e art. Yeah, I really like the attention to detail in all like the finger bones. Lining all of the edges of the black mantle are finger bones. Yeah. Whereas the 3rd edition art,
I think it's 3E. Yeah,
looks like a cuttlefish with spikes on it, on top of Edward Scissorhands.
It is very Edward Scissorhands, isn't it?
It is. It's really like
a Tim Burton creature right there. Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole outfit is like late 90s, like techno goth. Like there are a lot of straps or a lot of belts. Like that's the kind of shit I would have worn in like 2003 when I was going to raves.
Yeah, for sure. Straight up, that's exactly what that is.
That's the kind of stuff you would have bought at Hot Topic before Hot Topic became mainstream.
100%, absolutely. He's a bit of an edgelord, that one, yeah.
I don't want to say edgelord because I definitely had a pair of pants that's reminiscent of this. It was like they were like white plaid, but they had a bunch of belts and straps on them, so you couldn't spread your legs too far. But they looked cool as hell.
Sweet Jesus.
The past was a weird place, listeners. All right, Freeman, quickly segue us out of this.
No, listen farther for more on James' wardrobe.
It's always been bad. All
right, let's get back on topic.
Okay.
So basically, true lichdom involves trapping one's own soul into a phylactery, right? And the phylactery is fed, common knowledge, of course. The phylactery is fed souls so that it can continue to preserve the body and consciousness of the original creature.
And if you're not learning that in grade school, you're going to a bad grade school.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, no creativity at all.
None.
So when a lich's body is destroyed, I'm peeking into what will definitely be our future lich episode. But basically, when the lich's body is destroyed, in whatever manner, it reforms near the phylactery. So an Alhoon's version of lichdom does not work the same way at all. Instead of the body being reformed and undeath being restored, the Alhoon's mind is transferred into the periapt, where they commune with other trapped minds and souls of the sacrificed. So they don't...
That's fucking horrifying.
They aren't actually granted any kind of eternal sort of idea of undeath.
Not only that, they're sentenced to commune with all of the souls they sacrificed to get there.
Okay, we'll kind of get to that.
Jury of your peers.
So their minds actually have a little more power than their souls. So that's sort of the idea. So the usefulness of a periapt lies in its ability to sort of, quote, reset the clock. And that's reset the clock on death of the Alhoon. So basically, an Alhoon's undeath lasts only as long as the sacrificed soul lived. So an example given, this is straight from Volo's Guide, is that a 200-year-old elf will give more time to an Alhoon's undeath than, say, a 35-year-old humanoid.
Oh.
Which makes sense. It's literally equal. And as such, an Alhoon may continue sacrificing souls to extend its life by repeating the ritual. This is why this is a shortcut to lichdom. It's not perfect.
Right.
It is a way of extending one's life. Yes, they do become undead. Yes, they do experience undeath. But they have to continue this process to extend that undeath. And destroying the periapt does indeed commit all souls and minds held within to oblivion. It is a permanent death.
Right. Okay. So just to go
very
back
like
a little bit.
phylactery for a lich.
Right. But just to go back a little bit. So when the Alhoon dies, its mind is transferred to the periapt. Can it get out of that?
As far as I know, no.
That's horrifying.
But it also does require multiple Alhoons to create even one periapt. And there are multiple souls that need to consistently go in. And I didn't come across anything that specifically described that other Alhoons can't, like later on, be attached to the same periapt, which is sort of what I would like to explore in maybe a homebrew or personal idea of, when it comes to a campaign.
Yeah. I'm curious to see their spell list now.
Mm-hmm. So all of this, of course, means that Alhoons will go to great lengths to create protections for both the periapt and the preferred ritual site, because they have to conduct this regularly, right?
Right.
And they have to do this sort of collectively. And multiple Alhoons are attached to the same object. Very rarely, a single Alhoon will be trusted to keep the periapt on their person. Of course, this is a very dangerous proposition. And however, it specifies this in a weird way, but I imagine it being relatively equal on the opposite sides. You'll understand what I mean in a sec. So basically, holding a periapt of Alhoons grants a mechanical advantage on all attacks, saves, and checks against the Alhoons involved in the creation. Not only that, but disadvantage is bestowed upon the Alhoons versus the holder of the periapt. So if you were, as a PC, are holding the periapt of a group of Alhoons, who knows how, like a minimum of 3, but it could be as many as who knows, you are granted advantage against them, and they are granted disadvantage against you as long as you hold it. That's very powerful. That's more than double chance. That's quadruple chance or more, right? Of succeeding on multiple things or surviving.
The math tops out somewhere. I mean, they're different checks. They're not stacking. Like advantage and disadvantage are still only a 50. I want to say a 50% increase.
Right. But it's still tremendous given the mechanics and
it's 50 on everything versus 50 on one side of the equation. So it's huge.
So I would assume this sort of also translates across to say there is one Alhoon specifically trusted with holding this periapt. Well, that one Alhoon, if they were meant to manage that trust, well, they have now advantage on saves and checks against the other Alhoons that are close to it, giving them a position of power over what would sort of be a coven, if you will, involved in the creation of this device or this item.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That definitely could be part of an adventure hook right there, or a narrative.
Definitely, I think part of a narrative, yeah.
On top of that, anyone who holds the Periapt also has the ability to telepathically speak with any soul and Alhoon mind trapped within it. This is why I've sort of had the idea that maybe an Alhoon can be attached to this after it's been created. Like, you don't have to be part of the initial ritual. You can be joined after. And perhaps the older Alhoon minds can speak to you. The one strange thing about this is, like, not only do the trapped souls, the sacrificed souls speak to you as well as the Alhoon minds, but as a holder, you can silence the trapped souls, but you cannot silence the Alhoon minds from speaking to you.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm good.
Hey, that to me is a very unnerving concept. It's so cool, and it makes me want to be like, hey, start your adventure with someone picking up a Periapt without knowing that it's a Periapt, and just give them the most absurd shit, and then give them a partial ability to silence it all, and then see what they do with the Periapt, despite never being able to silence a part of it, and just like, you could play with that so much.
So we'll talk about this a little bit more in homebrew, but
we definitely will. Yeah,
I think that's a good homebrew for the Warlock class.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. And I'm pretty sure, if it's not out now, I don't think it's out yet, but there is definitely an upcoming Warlock, or at least there was a recent. It was recently on D&D Beyond of Unearthed Arcana for aberration-based Warlock, which is really cool.
Yeah, so I think that would be very similar to this. But again, we'll ask me again about that when we get into homebrew. Yeah. I have some ideas about that.
Sick. All right. I mean, but that's basically it for Alhoon. That's sort of their deal. They create this Periapt to extend their life, and it does have limited ability, especially compared to the phylactery of a lich, and we will certainly see that reflected in our upcoming mechanic section.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I love it. I love all things undead. I don't know why. It's always been something I've struggled against. Just trying not to be another one of those guys who loves horns and skeletons and shit like that. Like, I don't really give a shit about the flesh covered stuff, but fuck, do I love undead creatures? Devils and demons and skeletons and liches, and like, this is all fantastic.
This is your jam. Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's my shit. I'm into it.
We're going to put James in charge of the Lich episode. I'm saying that right now.
Oh, my God. You want to listen to me talk for 2 hours with an erection? Is that what's happening?
Do I? As long as you wear your leather pants so we can hear every shift.
I'll have to go and buy leather pants.
Again, back to James' wardrobe.
A big old thank you to my wardrobe, and I guess big old thank you to Strangefellows while we're at it. I'm going to love it with you, Freeman. As dark as this episode is, I was not able to get any blackmail. So instead, I went the exact other direction, and I'm drinking the Guardian White IPA this week.
So I want to be offended, but I've made the same mistake, so I can't.
You couldn't find it either?
Technically, I made a worse mistake. No. There was a few episodes back when I was like, I literally said I don't have any blackmail with me.
Right.
But then the next episode, I was like, it turns out I had a 4-pack in the back of my fridge. So I'm like, shame.
Yeah, I specifically went out to the store this morning to try and find blackmail, and they were completely out. Both stores in my neighborhood.
You actually couldn't find any in the neighborhood?
Yeah, both stores in my neighborhood were completely out. So I have a Guardian IPA here, which has a dragon on it. It is hoppy, fruity, and aromatic. It is a stronger beer than what we normally drink by about 1.5%. So things are only going to go downhill from here.
Yeah, I think we're both safe in the fact that when I didn't have it and you now don't have it, we both were still at least drinking Strangefellows beers. So
yeah. So a big thank you to Strangefellows.
It's called that brews, not brewers. Brewers.
So a big thank you to Strangefellows for not sponsoring this episode, but continually inspiring us to continue to drink beer.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. It's probably not doctor recommended, but fuck it. Like this game, we absolutely love them. So, Strange Fellows, thank you. We love you. But Freeman, take me to the second or third worst Jason Statham movie, The Mechanic.
Oh my god! I feel like I kind of remember that film. Actually, so you can clarify. I'm sure you can clarify for me. Is that the one with Ben Foster in it?
Ben Foster's in the first one. Yes, he's not in the sequel because there is a second mechanic.
This silence.
Are you not?
Is my disbelief.
Okay. Like, are you not picking me up? It's called The Mechanic Resurrection.
Oh my god. Okay, is the mechanic the one where he actually uses a like fire hose in a fire department to like dispatch a bunch of dudes, or is that in like one of the shittier sequels of The Transporter?
I think that's in The Transporter. The end of The Mechanic. Spoilers for The Mechanic 2011. At the end of the movie, he blows up Ben Foster in the backseat of his car, or in the front seat of his car as he steals it.
I'll never watch it because, as far as I'm concerned, no one blows up Ben Foster. That's outrageous.
Are you high? Ben Foster blows up in like every movie. 310 to Yuma?
I'm still not happy about it.
All right, that's fine. That's fair.
I like Ben Foster.
I like Ben Foster too, but
trying to make a stand.
Yeah, all right. I respect that. You can cut this bit.
All right, no, we're not.
Go back to the second or third worst Jason Statham movie.
Okay, we're gonna talk about mechanics. Oh, I am definitely a little bit drunk. Okay, here we go.
I can tell because that was not that good of a joke.
So we're gonna go in with mechanics, starting in the same order. Mindwitness. What CR do you think? What CR do you think this creature is? So again, Beholder is a CR 13, and this creature goes through ceramorphosis, and its intelligence is reduced. The score is reduced by 2. That's all the hints I'm giving you. What do you think?
Right. So if the intelligence, which I imagine is the Beholder's main stat, is being reduced by a +2. Is that correct? +2?
No, it's the scores by 2.
Okay,
so it'll be by a +1 at max.
Right. So I'd say like 7 or 8, probably.
Okay. So it's actually lower.
Boo.
It's a CR 5.
Boo.
Yeah, and I kind of think that it's pseudo justified in the fact that it's also, again, I think lore-wise, it was described as like psionically embedded with like dedication to the Elder Brain, so it loses a certain amount of independence. So that independence is a result in its CR. But when we look at the actual mechanics, maybe you'll think it's justified. Or maybe
I think that would require me knowing what the Beholder mechanics are, which I've gone out of my way not to learn in anticipation of doing the world's longest episode.
Seriously. No, actually, I don't think that'll be the longest. I think Giants will be the longest.
Giants is going to be Giants has to be a suite.
Giants or demons, yeah, or devils.
Demons has to be. They've got to be a suite though. Whereas I think Beholders is
like
one
a single episode. Oh
Yeah.
no, there's so many different types of Beholders though. There's loads of them. There's like 6. There's definitely 6. There's 3 in the Monster Manual for sure, and there's at least 3 in Fellows Guide.
Tyrant. Okay, I didn't know there was 3 in Fellows.
No, I'm pretty sure there's 2 to 3 at least. Yeah.
Okay,
So
and
it'll be
for the record, Dragons is going to be our longest suite ever.
That's 100% true.
I know this because I've already planned it out.
So
Stay tuned for Dragons listeners.
Yeah, the Mindwitness is CR5. What I didn't realize right away was that a Beholder is a large creature.
I mean, that makes sense. Again, when I think Beholder, I think the creature in Doom.
Yeah, that's the Kako Demon, yeah, or Keiko Demon. Yeah, that's what they're called in Doom.
How do you know that?
I looked it up the other day because I felt like I had to.
That's fair. Yeah. So when I think Beholder, I think those things.
Right, and they're good size. They're a good size. Yeah,
they're huge. Yeah. I mean,
so
mechanically they're large.
Mechanically large. I'm right there with you. So Mindwitness is also large. They retain the same size. So CR5, HP 75, AC of 15, all natural armor.
Yeah.
Technically a speed of 0. But they have to, because they don't go on the ground, fly speed of 20 feet. And they do have the hover option. So this is your buoyancy. Okay.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, like,
buoyancy.
I'm not ready to look it up, but I'm telling you that buoyancy is an object's is the displacement of water and an object's ability to float on a liquid or fluid.
I believe you.
I don't remember a whole lot from physics, but I remember that. I remember being so mad about it.
Well,
I remember the history behind it because it's Archimedes who discovered it. Archimedes in his bathwater to find buoyancy and the theory of displacement. Anyway, you can keep going now. I'm sorry.
So teacher says that, in 5e, hover is like, in parentheses, is basically just like, you don't have to do any checks to like stay afloat or in the air or anything like that, right? So they have a fly speed of 20 feet. They do have the hover feature. They're a large, lawful evil aberration. So very much in line with all of the Illithids. They can speak languages or deep speech, undercommon. Telepathy is 600 feet.
Jesus Christ.
So this is where their usefulness that we talked about in that telepathic hub nature comes in, and that's why that is the case. Their perception.
How many creatures can you see in 600 feet?
Yep.
Wow.
Effectively, that gives them a sight of 600 feet, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have they're immune to the prone condition. Non-magic, physical, the usual dark vision of 120 feet.
Okay, so they don't have vision of 600 feet then.
Yeah, I guess not. But here's maybe where it's a little bit wonky. I don't know. So their first ability, their first and only ability or trait is telepathic hub. So when it receives a telepathic message, it can send the message up to 7 other creatures within 600 feet. So they are effectively like a beacon that the Elder Brain can send a message and then it's sent again. So ideally, like if they're on the edge of, say, the Elder Brain's 5-mile radius, it could be sent another 600 feet.
Yeah.
Extending the effective range of the Elder Brain.
Okay, I want to be clear that I love this. I love everything you've told me about mind witnesses. However, the language you have used to describe it, and I don't know if it's just...
No, I just double-checked it. I just, literally, as you're saying, I double-checked it, and it is 600 feet, and that it can see.
Okay. So it's the language that Wizards is using that I find very challenging.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we don't know the base distance of a beholder or another Illithid in which they can see outside of, say, darkness or dim light. Let's assume it's bright light or regular, vision. We don't know what the general basic limit is, but what we do know is the Mindwitness's limit is 600 feet. That is for sure.
I mean, I guess you as a human being could probably see 600 feet over your linear distance, but I don't think you could distinguish a specific creature. But I guess, these eyes are bigger. My concern, my real issue is that when I look at the 5e art, these eyes are milky. Like, these look like they have cataracts. Yeah. And to me, that it looks like a blind creature. So I don't know if that's on purpose to kind of obscure how far the eyes see. I don't really remember my science on eyes. I know there are cones and rods, and that the iris takes in light or reflects it off the cones and the rods to see distance and shape.
So what I can tell you is that the Dungeon Master's Guide looks. I'll quickly Google this. So it says it's on page 243 under a section called Visibility Outdoors. The basic summary of it is that on a clear day, you can see 2 miles.
What is that in feet? Do you know?
If you went from imperial to imperial,
I mean, that's how they fuck you, is going from metric to imperial to imperial.
That is 10,560 feet.
10,000 feet.
Now, that's how far you can see, not the distinguished detail, right? That's 3.2 kilometers. So that's how far you can register sight.
Never in my life have I been anywhere, and I've driven through the prairies where I can see 3 kilometers ahead of me.
And I'm, of course, assuming this means nothing obstructing your view. It also means nothing. You have everything in front of you is in the same elevation as you. So
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I've driven through the prairies. Like, driving through, lower Manitoba, it is, 30 or 40 miles or kilometers of straight and flat. And I can tell you, I can't see 3 kilometers ahead of me.
Yeah, right.
But I am not the base character in D&D. I'm below a commoner.
You're way worse.
Oh yeah. So, 10,000 seems like a lot of feet.
Yeah. So, I mean,
okay, sure.
Which is like significantly less than the 600-foot range, apparently. So,
yeah.
Maybe this is just something that Wizards has oversighted again.
No, it's probably not. It's probably one of those imperial things that or metric imperial things that I just straight up just don't get or understand. Right. And again, we as individuals were commoners, guys like me are worse than commoners. I'm sure you're about on that range now that you've had the LASIK, but
right.
I can tell you my vision isn't perfect, and even with
right.
So I definitely can't see 3 kilometers, but I don't know. It seems
regardless of like base ability to see at a distance. What we do know is that the Mindwitness can see 600 feet, and it doesn't necessarily need to know what individual it sees. It just needs to know that it does see an individual, and up to 7 of the individuals can receive the telepathic message it received.
Right. And again, my problem isn't the telepathic message up to 600 feet. It's the fact that it needs to see that creature. I feel like it could probably just mark that creature, like Hunter's Mark, which is a spell that exists in 5e.
Right.
And then just you can take the whole sight thing out of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand why sight has to be included in this, and that's kind of my issue or my problem with this whole creature so far, is that sight is a big part of it.
I wonder if we would see that if we actually explore Beholder, which neither of us obviously have done. So maybe there's a translation there. Maybe there isn't. But
I mean, let us know, creatures, if there is. You can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, or if you're a Patreon, you can get us in our Discord. Like, I want to know. I really do want to know.
Yeah.
But that's enough dicking around with this one ability. What kind of actions do they have? I'm sure they've got to have something more interesting.
They've got something. Most of it's mundane. Multi-attack. One with its bite, one with its tentacles. So 2 attacks. Bite is +5 to hit. 4d6 +2 piercing. Nothing special.
That's a lot for a CR5, though.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, the tentacles is the exact same. No reach on the tentacles, so it is like a melee range.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to really.
But
this creature
the tentacles do have the if the target is larger or smaller, if they succeed in the attack, they're grappled. Escape DC is 13, and DC 13 intelligence save to be stunned until the grapple ends. So it's right in there with the Mind Flayer tentacle attack. Same thing essentially, but just with the appropriate plus to hit damage and DCs for a CR5.
Okay.
So yeah, they can bite you, they can tentacle you, they can stun you, and that sort of thing. So they could be pretty vicious. This is where the altered eye rays of the Mindwitness is where it gets really interesting, and a little bit confusing, to be honest, which particularly in the last one. But we'll go down the list. Essentially, as an action, they can shoot 3 eye rays, but the eye rays are chosen at random, and any duplicate eye ray is re-rolled, so they cannot do the same one back to back in the same action. And
I'm prepared to be corrected, but I think that's a holdover from the Beholder.
Oh yeah, it could very well be. That would make a lot of sense. Again, a good reason to like look at Beholder to compare this, because it says the IRAs are altered, not gone or anything like that, right? As a general rule, the range of the IRAs are 120 feet of a target you can see, and the very first option is Aversion Ray, which is a DC 13 Charisma save, or have disadvantage on attack rolls for 1 minute.
Fuck, that's so long.
Yeah, saving throw repeated at the end of your turn, so possible to avoid after a short amount of time. Fear Ray, DC 13 Wisdom save, or become frightened for 1 minute. Saving throw repeated at the end of your turn. Psychic Ray, DC 13 Intelligence save, or take 6d8 psychic damage, which is pretty beast at CR5. No huge. Half save on that. It's take it or don't.
Yeah, save or die. Yeah.
There's Slowing Ray, DC 13 Dexterity saving throw, or speed is halved for 1 minute. You cannot take reactions, and you can take either a standard or bonus action, but not both.
That's pretty huge.
That's pretty huge, yeah. Again, saving throw repeated at the end of the turn. Stunning Ray, DC 13 Constitution save, or be stunned for 1 minute, saving throw at the end of your turn. And then finally, the Telekinetic Ray, DC 13 Strength save, or be moved up to 30 feet in any direction of the Mindwitness's choosing. Target is restrained by the Ray's, quote, telekinetic grip until the end of the Mindwitness's turn, or the Mindwitness is, of course, incapacitated. This particular Ray can also target an object that weighs 300 pounds or less, and can be used for fine manipulation, such as using a tool, opening a door, or opening a container, that sort of thing.
Right.
That's the part that I actually find a little bit confusing. But, I mean, overall, I think this is really cool that it has the possibility of covering a charisma, wisdom, intelligence, dexterity, constitution, strength, specifically one of each.
Yeah, I like that a lot, too.
Which is, I think, is really cool. And it's at very, very random, which is what makes me confused with the last one, because why would the Mindwitness target something they can finally manipulate, such as opening a door and this thing? Why would they ever do that at random? They would only ever do it on purpose. And also, if they could do it on purpose, why is it at random?
Right. So based on the wording of that, I don't think it's random. I think you roll for what raise you're going to use, right? Like you roll a d6, I'm guessing.
Okay.
I think you roll the raise and then choose the targets. And
okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
I like that a lot less, and I know you do too, based on the kind of players we are. Like, I like the idea of choosing the targets and then rolling the ray so much more than I like, rolling the ray and then choosing the targets. But 5e is kind of a cop out in that regard, where it's always, roll and then choose. So I if I were going to shoot 3 IRAs, I would roll 3d6s and be like, okay, this one is the aversion ray, this one's going against the paladin, this one's the telekinetic ray, this one is going to open the door for the Alhoons in the next room or whatever.
Right.
So
I'll actually read straight from Volo's guide the very first part, and you're very much correct on this based on this wording. The Mindwitness shoots 3 of the following magical IRAs at random, choosing 1 to 3 targets it can see within 120 feet of it. So the rays are chosen first, and then the targets are chosen. Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I like it less, and I'm sure you do too. Because I'm the kind of player who likes to roll my stats in order.
Right. I agree, because that's actually, like, we'll just do a quick homebrew section on this. I would 100% do it that order. I think you're absolutely right. You and I are on the same page in that. And I would just pull that the object part out of telekinetic ray. I'd just pull that away and just make that a sort of side attribute. They can just do that. But it takes a standard action, or you can sacrifice one of the 3 random rays for them to manually do that. But otherwise, I would like to do that.
I like the idea that the telekinetic ray's in there. So you're like, okay, I want to choose this door but I want to close this door. But you hit it with a stunned ray, so it can't actually be moved. Or you hit it with the slow ray, so it opens at half speed, so it takes a full round to open.
That's so great.
Or
awesome.
You hit it with the psychic ray, and the door just fucking explodes. So
there's your encounter hook. That's absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm here for this. I'm here for
I love that.
Or choosing your targets and rolling the ray like the aversion right. Nope, the door is just stuck in whatever position it's in. The fear ray, it slams shut the next turn or some shit like that. Or it has no effect. Whatever. Like I got no problem with one ray having no effects.
Yeah, it could just flop. There's nothing wrong with that.
This is your opportunity to have a couple of drinks and just be stupid. Like
explore it.
I'm a couple of beers in. Like, just have fun with it. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm down with your homebrew, but
no, I love that. Yeah,
a door is the best and only example that I can think of. Like, the crate is so framed that it doesn't open.
It doesn't stop there.
Or, like you fear ray a chest and like the lock is just now, it was a DC 15, now it's a DC 20.
Yeah.
Like, sure, whatever. I think what you're talking about is very, very situational, but I think it could be a lot of fun if you just, if you're trying to manipulate the, if you're trying to control the battlefield with this particular creature. I don't necessarily think you're running the encounter right, but it could be fun.
The encounter's where you make it, right?
Yeah, why not use it as a striker and a controller? Like, I mean, these 3 eye-rays, most of these eye-rays are control things, right? Like, between the aversion. I guess aversion's a buff, fear is a control, psychic is a striker, slowing is a control, stunning is a control, telekinetic ray is, I guess, also a control, but maybe a buff.
It could also be an instant death, to be honest, depending on your terrain.
Yeah, definitely.
30 feet in any direction, and you're restrained. You can do nothing. You can't react. Not even to grab an edge, right? So...
Yeah, but I mean, you can't... I guess you could move somebody 10 feet over and 20 feet down a ledge, but...
Yeah. You could just move them 30 feet straight up and make them take 3d6 falling damage. You could turn that into a damage
5
move. You could move them over a cliff.
Yeah. I think the point is to turn it into a damage move. And, you could move them over a cliff. Like,
yeah. But it depends on how deadly you want to take, turn the terrain into, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these could be a very dangerous CR5, I think. And I think it would be a lot of fun to run one of these. I love the I love the role to play creatures. Like, I love the randomness of that.
The more I read about Illithids and their other creatures, like the farther I want to have a party explore into the depths of a colony.
I want you to write this campaign. Like, I really, really do. I want you to write your Illithid campaign where the halfway boss is the cranium rat Voltron.
Oh, that'd be so good.
But we're not even done it yet.
When I win the lottery, that's what I'll do.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's our $1,000 a month Patreon goal.
Oh, there we go. $1,000 a month. I will write this Mind Flayer colony campaign. It'd be so good.
Awesome. Perfect. I'm going to hold you to that. Okay. But we're not even through Mind Flayers yet. Talk to me about Ulitharids.
Really not at all. Yeah. Ulitharids. Stat book number 2. What do you imagine these guys are? See, these are like the independent Mind Flayers. What's the
Yeah, these are the super soldier, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sort of.
Sorry, I also wanted to just point out that the 4 tentacles that the Mindwitness gains are reflective of the 4 tentacles of a Mind Flayer, because the Ulithrid has 6. That's how you know it's superior.
Right.
So,
yep.
I'm really, really impressed with the subtle details of the lore of the Mindwitness, and I just wanted to point that out to anyone who missed it, like I did for the first half of this episode.
I agree. The fact that you noticed that the 7 eyes and 7 people, like 7 creatures that could be targeted, like that blows my mind. But I'm right there with you. That's awesome. I love those subtle details, and you just notice one that's not nearly as obvious.
No, and it really it took me a while to get there, but I was looking at the tentacle slam and I was thinking about the Ulitharids 6 tentacles versus the 4 tentacles, and that's what it was. Is that it's reflective of a traditional 4 tentacle mind flayer.
So cool.
So if a mind flayer's what, CR8, CR7,
CR9. Sorry. I gave it away. Mind flayer is a 7.
Okay.
Ulitharids a 9. Yeah.
Right. So 2 more tentacles adds up to 2 more CR to me. So CR9, I'm gonna say.
You say that, but then like 4 tentacles equals CR7.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just a base value.
It's just a couple hidden tentacles we don't see, guys.
No, each one equals 1 3/4.
Yeah, that adds up to me.
That probably doesn't.
So Ulitharids CR9. HP is 127. You're getting a little bit high there. AC remains about the same. It's a 15, and that's assuming it's wearing a breastplate, particularly.
Okay.
And it's got a land speed of 30. And just so we're clear, that breastplate is not indicative of much. So it's literally the same as the Mind Flayer. Okay. They both have a breastplate is a base AC of 14, and they both have a dex mod of +1. That's it. So AC 15 with a breastplate on.
So they're slippery creatures, but not very mobile.
Right. Here's a big thing that stunned me a bit. Is that the Illithrid is a large creature as opposed to a medium.
Fuck right off.
They're beefed up, yeah, and in size. Like if you look at the 5e art, like though not only are their tentacles numbering in 6 instead of 4, but they are long and elaborate and just like writhing all over the place. And and they are a large creature, and like that to me is visually terrifying. Like a Mind Flayer is unnerving to begin with visually, like in the fact that it can grab you and pull your brain out with its mouth and its tentacles. This thing is large. It's like double your size guaranteed, and it's like it just like freaks me out a bit. And I literally came across that
large
today.
Isn't technically doubled your size.
Well, it's at least doubled your size.
That's not true.
You're right. That's not true.
Large creatures what, 10 feet and above? 8 feet and above even?
Actually, it's about 8 feet. It's above 8 feet, I believe it is. Yeah. Okay. Medium, I think caps at 8, maybe 8.5. But I think it's 8 feet. Yeah.
So like I would barely have to tilt my head up to look at a large creature. I mean, I'm not saying this thing isn't terrifying. I don't want to get in close enough to this thing to have to tilt my head up, but
I think you'd be doing more than tilting your head up if it grabbed a hold of you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shitting my pants mostly, I think. Okay, so what do these things have?
It is very imposing presence.
Agreed.
Sorry.
You'll have to check out our Instagram for the photo of it, the official 5e art.
They're ridiculous, yeah. So they're really cool looking. And so, I mean, the usual, they speak deep speech, undercommon. Their telepathy extends 2 miles or 3.2 kilometers. So pretty damn big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. And they have no particular condition immunities or resistance or anything like that. They do have a pretty big boost to their intelligence, wisdom, and charisma modifiers, for saves. So 9, 8, and 9 respectively. And skills, they have like +9 to Arcana, +8 to Insight, +8 to Perception, +5 to Stealth. They are lacking in the more charisma-based boosts of the Mind Flayer, which do have like Deception and Perception or Persuasion.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why Arcana has such a high boost.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I wonder if it's the result of them being more likely to be an Arcanist, or they just, or maybe it's the lack of their lack of influence from the Elder Brain, because these things are intelligence-based creatures generally.
Yeah, or maybe it's like they're you're more aware of the things that can hurt you more, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Or you have more access to outside knowledge in general because you're not suppressed.
Right, that's good. I like that. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay.
And then from there, I mean, they have dark vision 120 feet, passive perception 18, so like all pretty high. But it's a CR9 creature, so it's not out of the realm of reason.
I haven't seen anything here that's even kind of reasonable for a CR9, to be honest with you. Like, the saves are good, but the HP and the AC below, so let's see what they've got for abilities.
I said that way earlier, like, I'm not enthused about these stat blocks. I think the Mindwitness is pretty cool, but I think the Illithirid and the Alhoon are a bit lacking, in my opinion.
Okay.
But we'll definitely explore it. So their first ability is Creature Sense. It's right in there with the Intellect Devour kind of thing. They're aware of intelligent creatures of intelligence score of 4 or higher within their 2-mile radius of telepathy. They know the distance and direction and the actual score, but nothing else. And this can be blocked by non-detection or the Mind Blank spell, which we discussed previously.
That's still pretty huge.
Yeah, it's still pretty big. Yeah, I mean, they're going to hunt you down if they want. No problem at all.
Every rogue you have is now useless.
Screwed, chewed, and barbecued, as my mother would say.
Yeah, it feels that way. Like, there's almost... I can't... I'm sure somebody out there in Creatureland could tell us how to get sneak attack on something that knows where you are based on your intelligence score.
Right.
But I can't think of a way.
It's pretty... That is a good point. It's pretty outrageous, yeah. So they also have magic resistance. I've literally written the usual. I'm kind of tired looking at it. They have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. That's it. I'll always specify what it is, but my God, everyone's got it. And they also have an ability called Psionic Hub. So this is where their relationship to the Elder Brain comes in, and it's a little bit interesting. It's nothing special, but it makes sure everything adds up. So basically, if the Elder Brain establishes its psychic link, which we discussed in a previous episode, the Ulitharid. So if it establishes this link with the Ulitharid, it can detect any creature the Ulitharid does. So the Elder Brain has a 5-mile range, and the Ulitharid has a 2-mile range, right? So this works as long as the creatures being sensed will remain within the telepathic range of either creature.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Right? Once linked, once the link is established, it remains regardless of the distance between the Ulitharid and the Elder Brain.
Okay,
as long as they're on the same plane of existence,
that just changed everything.
Right. So this is where it gets big. So the Ulithrid can go, who cares how far away, and the Elder Brain can still sense what it senses. However, the Ulithrid may end that link once it's outside of the Elder Brain's 5-mile reach, if it chooses.
Right.
So if it remains linked to the Elder Brain of its own free will, the Elder Brain does have the ability to do this. And I can't tell you, I didn't write it down, but I can tell you that it takes no action, in case it matters, to end that link. But once it breaches that 5-mile radius, it can end it, no problem. So there is a very, very specific line there, and you can play with that narratively. There's nothing to say that a Illithrid has to actually, want to like wholly escape an Elder Brain. It just generally is ideal for it to not remain in the colony on a survival basis. But if it leaves the colony, it does not necessarily mean it has to break its connection, and it could actually find value in maintaining the connection with the Elder Brain, and the Elder Brain could find value in turn.
I see it, but it's still kind of being a slave to your master, and it seems like when it seems like when Ulitharids want to become independent, their end game is to become their own master, as opposed to being like this is kind of like being a baron in a king's land. Mm-hmm. Whereas Ulitharids seem to me, at least are written, that they want to be kings of their own lands.
I mean, all mind flayers do, right?
That's true. But I mean, Ulitharids are born with the ability.
Yeah, they're born with the ability to break off right away.
Whereas other mind flayers just don't have
that's what I love about this
ability.
mechanic is that they have it sort of allows them the choice to not break away. They have the ability to do it all the time, but they're not necessarily going to do it. It sort of inspires to not go with that right away. Like maybe there's an option of staying linked.
Yeah, and I mechanically, I've got no arguments here. I think this is great. I love the idea of like a Ulithrid general, or a vanguard, like the Ulithrid Christopher Columbus, who's going to come over and fuck up all the natives of the land.
Jesus, yeah. There could be a what's the word looking for? A symbiotic relationship established to something.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's, at least in the lore that you talked about earlier, that's exactly what happens. Is that the Elder Blade gives the Ulitharid a good chunk of leash, and that leash could be go
sort of as
discover
an
and conquer new lands,
not be a problem. Go off and do these things. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So from there, we'll get. They very obviously have innate spellcasting due to their psionics, which is a common thing. We have intelligence mod, spell save DC of 17 to match their CR. They have the at-will abilities of detect thoughts and levitate. All stands up once per day each. They can cast confusion, dominate monster, eye bite, feeble mind, mass suggestion, plane shift, self only, I say with disdain, project image, scrying, and telekinesis.
So we're going to get into this in our next episode, but I now hate this once per day each thing. I think it's such hot shit, even though most of the spells are great, except for, dominate monster or project image. Like I can see an actual use for the rest of those spells. This once per day each thing I now found is hot garbage.
It sounds to me like you are maybe accidentally backtracking on your love for Vancian arcane magic, because that's one of my least favorite things in the world. I absolutely despise especially the Pathfinder arcane establishment of magic. I hate to plan each spell ahead. I hate that concept.
No, I'm not. I have no disdain for Vancian magic. I have a disdain for giving enemies the same abilities as PCs. And I think once per day, especially
on this podcast.
And I think especially at once per day at a CR9 creature is just such hot shit. Like, why aren't they just at will? Like, how many rounds is this fucking Ulitharid gonna live that it just can't be at will? Like, cast confusion twice, creatures. Like, get out there.
The only argument I have against it is against that idea is that there is a difference between innate spellcasting and spellcasting. Right, so this is specifically listed under innate spellcasting. It's right up there with the ability, the sort of racial abilities of a tiefling, to be able to cast Burning Hands or some such, right? That is innate versus being a spellcaster. Like,
Correct.
This is not a spellcaster, right?
Well, it is.
They have an innate spell-like ability. That's it's maybe not worded appropriately, but that's where I view it, right? Because you do see creatures that have innate spellcasting and then spellcasting. They are totally separate abilities and separate lists. Right? They operate by different rules. I
agree completely, but in this particular instance, these are innate spellcasters. Like, this is something that's baked into their blood. Like, this is a CR9 creature with less than 150 hit points, less than 18 AC. This thing is going to go down, and it's going to go down fast. So I get limiting the spells because the DC is very high.
Yeah,
but this thing isn't going to last more than 4 or 5 rounds.
I think it's less about the DC and more about what level each spell is.
Probably, yeah.
For example,
again, this thing isn't going to last 5 rounds.
Super high level spell. And maybe I don't have it here off the top of my head, but it's like level 3 or 4. I can tell you right now, Feeble Mind is a level 8 spell.
For sure, and Mass Suggestion is like level 6, I think.
Right.
Project Image is level 5. Like, I'm not saying that these aren't good spells. I'm not suggesting
what value in which, how many times per day do you see them being casted? How do you balance that? As opposed to 1 day each does seem like sort of limiting on the servers. I'll give you that. But what would you change?
I would just remove the once per day.
And how many times could they cast it? Just
at will. Just fucking at will.
All of these at will? They could just feeble mind at will, 8th level spell at will all the time?
Why not? How many rounds is a CR9 creature going to last against 4 level 9 PCs? At 127 hit points. Like, how hard are you hitting?
I mean, it depends on what that spell is doing, though, doesn't it? I mean, I was actually going to look at this later, but we might as well just do it right now. The Feeble Mind spell. Let's look at it. It's the highest level spell on that list. 1 action, 150 feet, instantaneous. You blast the mind of a creature you can see within range, attempting to shatter its intellect and personality. Your target takes 4d6 psychic damage and must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, the creature's intelligence and charisma score becomes 1. The creature can't cast spells, activate magic items, understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way. The creature can, however, identify its friends, follow them, and even protect them. At the end of every 30 days, the creature can repeat its saving throw against this spell. If it succeeds on its saving throw, the spell ends. The spell can also be ended by Greater Restoration, Heal, or Wish. You can't.
First of all, I love that spell. That is the best spell we've ever read.
But you cannot give it more than once per day. You can't. You cannot.
No,
you cannot take that
you're right
list
there.
and just give it that. Like, you can't, right?
You're absolutely right. But it doesn't have to be. Okay, I'll correct my position. It doesn't have to be all 5 of these spells. Like, Confusion once per day is ridiculous. Like, you're dealing with a level 9 party. And again, I understand the DC is 17, and that's pretty high. But I don't know, like, are these a beefcake? Like, are they a physical creature? Are they meant to mix it up in combat?
They're not. See, that's
so what the fuck
mistake.
Is the point?
That's the mistake, right?
Like, so where's the balance? Are they a blaster? Are they a controller?
We came across this before when we talked about Wildfires, and we're like, they felt like beefcakes, and they weren't. The Ulitharids are also not. They just are more, they're larger, they're more imposing, but they're just more enhanced in the same way. So they have a larger selection of abilities of the same aptitude.
And that's my issue, is that based on the research that I've done in the monster manual for our next episode, spoilers, it's a celestial, this shit is hot garbage because that creature is done so fucking well.
Right.
And then to see this in Volo's Guide to Monsters, the second monster manual, to see it have this kind of gimp where it's not, I know that's not politically correct, and I apologize for that, but I honestly don't know what else to call it. This this handicap isn't good either. But
you know what? You know what, James? Okay, I'm gonna push this forward.
Yeah.
With the warning that reflection that I warned you, the saplocks suck, and with the warning that they're going to get worse.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. I'm really excited about Alhoons, so I'm going to have some shit to say.
Don't
but,
be.
If you guys want to hear my feelings on innate spellcasting psionics Ulitharids, you can get at me in the Discord for $1 a month on our Patreon. So, let's just push on to attacks. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
No, here's get ready. Okay, here we go. Next bit is the actual actions of the Illitharid. They have the exact same ones as the Mind Flayer. Tentacles, plus 9 to hit, 4d10, plus 5 psychic damage, 10-foot reach. So there's a slight extension of reach, higher chance to hit, slightly higher damage, higher escape DC from the automatic grapple from the tentacles, higher DC intelligence save to be stunned by the grapple. But all of that is literally identical to the Mind Flayer, just upped by the
but those
increase
ups
in the CR.
Are so good.
They're +2. It's basically +2 across the board. I can tell you that.
40, 10, DC 17. It's big. It's big, stunned. Right? That's huge. It's really big, good.
Yeah. And then next one is Extract Brain. Literally the same thing. I shit you not.
Yeah.
same rules that we discussed. You have to go through a certain amount of motions to make sure you can actually have them grappled, go for another actual roll to hit them, and make sure you do the damage, make sure that damage actually reduces them HP, to 0 HP, so on and so forth. But again, everything, the pluses and damages appropriately.
And it's worth noting that the damage in this one is increased to a point where it's actually viable that the double to hit roll makes sense.
10d10 piercing damage for the extract brain.
So they'll take 4d10 plus 10d10. That's a maximum total of 145 damage in 2 rounds, which is viable at 9th round. Like that feels plausible to me that they need to hit twice.
Yeah, and then and then they have the Mind Blast, which was the big bad boy for the Mind Flayers. 60-foot cone, DC 17 intelligence save, 4d12 plus 5 psychic damage, stunned for 1 minute, saving throw repeat at the end of target's turn. Sorry. So I even made a little list here. Like the big differences between Mind Flayers and Ulitharids is that they're a medium to large creature. It's a +7 to hit versus a +9. It's a DC 15 instead of up to a DC 17. They have more innate spells and they have higher bonuses to their own saves and skills. That's essentially it.
So that up from DC 15 to DC 17
of a Mind Flayer.
Yeah, but that up from DC 15 to DC 17 makes that 2 increase in CR completely worth it to me. That is such a huge DC increase that it can't be overlooked.
I won't say it's not great. It's not amazing, but it's like there's almost no flavor. In fact, this creature is technically easier to hit. The AC is absolutely the same, and its size is larger. The only thing that it has advantage-wise, other than actual roll numbers, is that its tentacles have now a 10-foot reach instead of a 5-foot. But
aside from that DC, I agree with you. I think it's kind of a weak creature. I don't think it's a weak creature. I think this will hurt a party of 4 CR9 players.
Well, it's right in there with we thought Mind Flayers were really underwhelming, and the Ulitharids are bang on. It's like, oh, this resonates. Mind Flayers were like, they need a little extra. Well, here's your extra.
That's right? Exactly it. Had they changed Mind Flayer's DC to 16 or they're to hit a +9, I would have changed my tune completely. But just even tweaking those 2 numbers changes things so much, specifically in this case, because you've got 2 attacks that rely on each other. So I'm in. I like it.
Right. But I mean, but there's also not much more to discuss. At least for this episode, that's it. We've gone through it. Here's the numbers. These numbers feel more threatening, more deadly. That's for sure.
Yeah, DC 17 is
the
big.
same. Yeah.
It's
the same. Other than those at will once per day each spells, especially Feeble Mind, that's outrageous. Feeble Mind is crazy.
Mass Suggestion's also really good, but
right, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But otherwise, they're more or less the same. Yeah.
Speaking about spells, talk to me about the Alhoon because I am fucking psyched on this one.
Okay. I'm so terrified you're going to be so disappointed because
I'm always disappointed.
I'm not enthused. I'm genuinely not enthused by these guys. I love their story. I love how they're created, and I have some loose homebrew ideas, but stat block wise, all right. So CR 10, which is 1 up from the Ulitharid. HP 120, a little bit less.
Yep.
Natural armor of 15, so you could slap something on them, make it a little beefier if you want.
No, probably not. But I like that it's natural armor versus a breastplate because that gives you an immunity to spells like heat metal and shocking grasp.
Or right, or rather like a less of a vulnerability.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not targeted by things like even shatter or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly that.
Sure. Of course, we're back down to a medium creature. These, of course, are not Ulitharids. They're regular Mind Flayers that became Arcanists. They are undead as a category.
Awesome.
And same thing, deep speech, undercommon, telepathy, 120 feet. They do have DR to cold, lightning, and necrotic.
That's pretty standard for undead, I think.
Yeah, and something about that I like that. I feel like maybe we just don't explore undead that much, but I love that. You just sometimes don't expect cold, lightning, and narcotic.
Cold and necrotic for sure are almost all
it's undead. It's a narcotic.
Yeah, I might have. Yeah.
They have straight up damage immunity to poison and bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing non-magical. It's
well,
immune.
there's your CR10 right there. Jesus fucking Christ.
So that's the big one. That's the
Not
kicker.
impressed.
Like, if you don't have a fucking magical weapon, goddamn, you do nothing to this guy.
Well, I mean, it's
pretty brutal.
Level 10, you should have at least one magical item per character.
You would think, yeah. If you don't, fuck me.
I know people think that I'm going to say it again, and I've said it before, and I know people hate it, but 5e is a high magic game. And I know fucking
so
people.
many
I know.
forces,
I get so much shit for it, off screen. But like, I really, truly believe that it's a high magical item game.
I maintain the stance that it's as level of magic as you decide based on what enemies you want to use.
Yeah, or that.
But I mean,
Okay.
in general, I think as a general consensus, I think you're correct. I think it is high magic. If you don't have a magical weapon by the time you're level, I'm going to say 4 or 5.
Yeah, easy.
Then there's something wrong.
One per party at level 3.
But also,
easily.
What you consider to be magical as a weapon, I think is up for debate.
Anything with a +1 bonus.
Yeah. Well, no, almost literally anything that's not just stated as a weapon is considered magical, right? And, and that,
or silver.
I find that a little bit annoying.
Silvered or adamantine aren't magical either.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Anything with a plus bonus to its attack roll is technically magical. That's your easy.
Which is why I loved there is I mentioned before. There's the Armorer's Handbook. It is a third party PDF that a friend of mine sent my way, and it's actually really cool. It allows you to add separately a +1 to your chance to hit, and a +1 to your attack at a gold cost by searching out a blacksmith that can do such things, such as sharpening your blade to a finer edge. And it doesn't make it magical, but it does increase your possibility of doing damage or hitting. And I love that idea because it decreases the magic level of your world to a certain degree.
That was mechanically viable in previous editions. So like the term masterwork is a +1 to hit, but it's not a magical weapon. Mm-hmm. And I know 100%. That's still big.
It's like a better balanced weapon kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
exactly.
that. I love that. Yeah. But yeah, so the Alhoon.
Do they have the same undead condition immunities?
Yeah, charmed, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, and poisoned. So yes, straight up
standard cross board.
Yeah, and they also have true sight, 120 feet.
There's your CR10. Jesus Christ!
You cannot sneak up on this creature. Aside from being able to see in every direction, which they cannot necessarily do, you can't hide in their plain view.
I want to do a Patreon exclusive episode where I just bitch about the rogue at higher level play for an hour.
Because it's so bullshit, isn't it?
I want it so bad to be viable at higher level, but it doesn't seem to be.
Demonstrably, the Ranger is the worst class in 5e. 100%. Ranger, 100% it is. Its first few skills are utterly useless in most campaigns, including the pre-written modules.
Gloomstalkers, and then we'll go from there. Because I've done a higher level game where half of my players were Gloomstalkers.
Yeah, I was one of them.
And they fuck shit up, and that's a Ranger.
No, but compared to every other class, a Ranger is actually at its core the worst.
Okay. So if you get us to $400 a month patrons, we will have a Patreon exclusive series, probably 3 or 4 part series where we debate whether or not Ranger or Rogue is the worst class in 5e.
Oh man, that would actually be really fun. That'd be
so much fun. Okay, abilities. Talk to me about abilities. I'm sure they've got the usual magical resistance.
Magical resistance, the usual.
Okay.
If you guys don't remember what that is, go listen to the last one.
Or the previous stat block.
Previous stat block. They, of course, have innate spellcasting based on psionics. Spell save DC is 16. Intellect modifier as a standard, as a +4 in this case. They have detect thoughts and levitate at will, which is right up there.
Whatever.
They have dominate monster once per day and plane shift self only, roll eyes. Doesn't say each, so it's one or the other.
Okay. I'm fine with
Here's
that.
where spell casting instead of innate spell casting comes in. They are considered a 12th level spellcaster. And so DC 16 plus 8 to hit.
Why is it lower? Why is their DC lower?
Is it lower? Oh, it's lower than like the Ulithrid.
The Ulithrid.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet it's because it's and it's probably in the fact that Arcane is harder to learn than their innate psionic spellcasting. So it's
100%.
It's reflected in that. Okay. As much as I hate that their DC is 16, I really appreciate that they lowered the DC to reflect.
I can tell you right now, a Ulitharid's intelligence score is 21.
Yeah.
Which gives them a +5. And the Alhoon is a 19, which gives them a +4.
Okay. I like that it's reflected because it's actually harder for them to learn. I like that that's written in the lore, and then technically that's mechanically reflected here, but I still hate that it's a 16 and not a 17. Yeah. I want that on record.
It's on record.
Okay.
So of all their cantrips and spells, I'm just going to list off the ones that make the most sense. Cantrips are just like so straightforward. They have magic missile and shield. I think those are the ones that stand out to me. I love the idea of like because they go up to 6th level spells. So I love the idea of like opening with a magic missile at 6th level just to fuck up the party and like scare them. Also, they only have 4 slots for 1st level, so I would likely spend almost all of those on shield, which is a reaction +5 to AC spell.
That feels right.
And I would also do that to scare the shit out of the party, because every time they get hit, it's just like shield, shield, shield for the first 4 attacks. And they'd be like, fuck, sorry, not first 4, but first 4 rounds. But of course, they have invisibility, mirror image, scorching ray, counterspell. I think ones that stand out are something we have not covered before is Evard's Black Tentacles. As a 4th level spell, which they have 3 slots for.
Yeah, I'm not particularly familiar with that spell.
So it is a concentration spell up to 1 minute, range of 90 feet. And I'll read the description to you now. It is basically squirming ebony tentacles fill a 20-foot square on the ground that you can see within range. For the duration, these tentacles turn the ground into an area that is difficult terrain. When a creature enters the affected area for the first time on a turn or start just turn there, which is pretty standard, it must make a dexterity saving throw or take 3d6 bludgeoning and be restrained by the tentacles. A creature that starts its turn in the area is already restrained by the tentacles and takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage. A creature restrained by the tentacles can use an action to make a strength or dexterity check, its choice, against the spell save DC, and when it succeeds, it frees itself. So nothing outrageous, but newish to our podcast.
That's a pretty huge controller spell, though.
20 foot radius. That's pretty solid.
That's
20 foot square.
In any direction. So
no, sorry, no.
20 foot square.
20 foot square.
That's nothing to shake a stick at. Especially if you get 3 of those, just cast them in a wall.
Yeah. So could do the trick. The other ones that pop out are 5th level. They can do 2 slots. So they have Wall of Force, which we know is was a lair action for the Elder Brain.
Love Wall of Force.
Yeah, and then there's also Modify Memory, which I don't think we've talked about before.
No, can you tell me about Modify Memory?
Yeah, I mean it's got quite the description, but basically you attempt to reshape another creature's memories. One creature that you can see must make a Wisdom saving throw. If you are fighting the creature, it has advantage. On a failed save, the target becomes charmed by you for the duration, which is up to 1 minute again. The charmed target is incapacitated and unaware of its surroundings, though it can still hear you. If it takes any damage or it is targeted by another spell, the spell ends. And none of the memories are modified. While the charm lasts, however, you can affect the target's memories of an event that it experienced within the last 24 hours. And that lasted no more than 10 minutes. You can permanently eliminate all memory of the event, allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity and exacting detail, change its memory of the details of the event, or create a memory of some other event. You must speak to the target to describe how its memories are affected, and it must be able to understand your language for the modified memories to take root. Its mind fills in any gaps in the details of your description. If the spell ends before you have finished describing the modified memories, the creature's memory isn't altered. Otherwise, the modified memories take hold when the spell ends. A modified memory doesn't necessarily affect how a creature behaves, particularly if the memory contradicts the creature's natural inclinations, alignment, or beliefs.
Right.
An illogical modified memory, such as implanting a memory of how much the creature enjoyed dousing itself in acid, is dismissed, perhaps as a bad dream. The DM might deem a modified memory too nonsensical to affect a creature in a significant manner. A remove curse or greater restoration spell cast on the target restores the creature's true memory. This can actually be cast at higher levels as well, increasing the sort of area of days that it took place. So it's up to 30 days. So you could increase it 30 days 1 year ago, or any time in the creature's past at 9th level.
Okay, so I really liked that spell for a hot second, and now I just don't think it's worthwhile for this creature to cast at all.
It is on I mean, of course, mechanics. We're always focusing on combat, right? So,
well,
sometimes
I mean, first of all, how many players have you personally run that have taken Undercommon or Deep Speech as a language?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So I mean,
but also, like, if that's your caveat, then it's like, sort of you do have a certain obligation to be like, we are doing a campaign that is going to involve the Underdark. So these are things that up to you, but it's up to you. You should consider taking as a character.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. As a player, I always take Undercommon when it's available to me. Always. Every character I've ever played has spoken Undercommon. I can assure you that.
Right. Yeah.
But I, as a GM, do not run a single player who speaks Undercommon. Mm-hmm. So, like, this spell's completely useless.
Right. I mean, it is for the Alhoon specifically.
Yeah, sorry. For the Alhoon specifically, it's useless because they only speak Deep Speech and Undercommon. So I cannot affect a player because it doesn't share language with any of the players.
Right. But I mean, so, like, it's not useless so much as it is an advantage of the players. They cannot be affected by it. Doesn't make the Alhoon less weak. Just means that the players' lack of knowledge and ability, which will 100% affect their ability to go up against any amount of Illithids, has suddenly saved them against something extraordinarily brutal. Right?
Yeah.
So their ignorance has actually saved them, even though if they weren't so ignorant, they would have advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do, for sure. It's just hard to want to cast something like that when I can cast Confusion at a 5th level for the same price.
Right. And, the question is, too, like, does the Alhoon know already in advance that they shouldn't cast it?
Yep. They have telepathy. They
have telepathy. They have detect thoughts. They have the ability to determine whether or not they should use that or not.
They would 100% know ahead of time. This is one of the many, many reasons that I get my players' languages before the game even starts.
I just had the biggest deja vu. You've definitely said something very close to that before.
Oh, for sure. I'm 100% on board with getting.
This is why I get these.
You get your players' saves, you get your players' max HP, and you get your players' languages.
100%.
Okay, so you said there were.
Sorry, go ahead.
So you said they cast up to 6th level spells. What do they have for 6th level?
So they have one slot for Disintegrate, and this spell I had not heard of before, called the Globe of Invulnerability.
Why would you cast anything else? Yeah. Okay, I'm in. I'm back in.
So I'm gonna go back. I should make note that I'm reading, like, word for word. It's from a spell book app, but I can only assume they're copy and pasted from the actual manuals for 5e. So I am going basically word for word here. So this is from the player's handbook, oddly enough. I can't believe I've never heard of this spell. It is a 1 action on self, 10-foot radius, concentration up to 1 minute. An immobile, faintly shimmering barrier springs into existence in a 10-foot radius around you and remains for the duration. Any spell of 5th level or lower cast from outside the barrier can't affect creatures or objects within it, even if the spell is cast using a higher level spell slot. That's outrageous. Such a spell can target creatures and objects within the barrier, but the spell has no effect on them. Similarly, the area within the barrier is excluded from the areas affected by such spells. When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 7th or higher, the barrier blocks spells of 1 level higher for each slot level above 6th. So, like, even if you cast Magic Missile at 7th level, Magic Missile is a 1st level spell, therefore this thing blocks it. It doesn't matter what spell slot you use. That's so powerful. That's outrageous.
That's what I mean. Why would you cast anything else? So the reason I know about this is because last week when I made my backup character for our upcoming Pathfinder 2e game, I made an Abjurist, and this is an abjuration spell from 5e that's kind of relegated into 2nd edition a little bit.
So cool. It's so cool. I absolutely adore that spell. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's such a cool concept. And that is properly powerful. And it lasts a full minute concentration. So when you're at range, it is magic specific, but man, again, you can really rock the world of your players and shake their confidence.
Just pop that up and start shielding his reactions. Right. And you're in it for at least 5 rounds.
Right. You just maintain that shield against any arrows, any thrown axes or whatever it is. And we can't kill this thing. We better run. You can really, really fuck with somebody's mind. Yeah.
Fantastic.
The next thing I have for abilities is that they have, and this is the first time we've definitely come across this. It's called turn resistance.
Okay, I'm very familiar with this.
Yeah. That I'm not surprised, but it's the first time we've talked about it. And basically, advantage on saves versus anything that turns undead.
And we've actually covered very little undead for my penchant for them.
Right. We talked about this when we talked about Banshees in White and how I've literally used none ever. Right. So turn resistance. There you go. Advantage against things that turn undead, such as the Paladin or Cleric turn undead abilities. But it's very straightforward. But as far as I'm concerned, way more interesting than magic resistance.
Yeah, I like that it's advantage and not straight up immunity.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
There are some creatures that are just straight up immune to this ability.
Can't turn me. Too smart.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we'll talk now about ye old attacks, actions.
Yeah, let's see how these things compare to the Ulitharids.
Oh, here we go. So I can tell you right now, a slight peek back for their cantrips at will. They can do Chill Touch and Shocking Grasp. And
Chill Touch is a great cantrip.
Chilling Grasp.
Oh.
And it is it's this weird, innate, automatic do both thing, except with none of the fanciness. It's a melee spell attack, plus 8 to hit, 3d6 cold damage. That's it.
I mean, so it counts as magical, which is interesting why they would double it up as Chill Touch, but
yep.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it.
That's it.
That's not bad.
That's their one attack.
I mean, for a spellcaster, that ain't bad.
Yeah. They do have Mind Blast, which is the usual recharge 5/6, which I didn't mention earlier for the Illithid, but same deal. Mind Blast recharge 5/6, and 6 with a cone, DC 16, so down from the 17 from the Illithid, 48 plus 4 psychic, stun for 1 minute, repeating the saving throw at the end of the turn.
Same damage on that's also down by 2 dices.
Yep.
The damage on that is also down by 2 die.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, from a D12 down to a D8. Yeah. You can keep that all in. I don't give a shit.
But no, for sure. It's just on the attacking side of things, that's literally all they have. I mean, the Mind Blast is powerful, regardless of which creature we're talking about. It's insane. 6 of a cone. I think it was the Elder Brain had just a crazy radius. It didn't matter cone wise, but between the Alhoon, the Illithrid, and the Mind Flayer, it's literally the same. Just like change DC and damage based on the CR. Otherwise, operates the same.
I just don't like that everything is down on this. So the DC is down from the Illithrid, and the damage die is down by 2 steps.
Yeah,
on the
everything is down because it has way more spellcasting options, and I mean way more. Like we kind of didn't say it, but like first level 4 slots, second level 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1. Like they have a lot of spells to cast.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but a spell is still only something you can do once per round.
Right. Yeah. So it is a weird thing, and like. That's it. That's literally all they have for Alhoon. I find them, other than their resistances, like their immunities and their DR, and I find them so boring. So very boring.
True Sight.
And True Sight, I mean, True Sight's huge, but that's more or less about, like, you know, am I casting invisibility? Am I sneaking up on it? Like, I mean, that's party makeup. That's not that powerful. It's powerful, but it's not game breaking, right? It's not guaranteeing
we don't want game
anything, right? And so I actually made a couple of bullet points here. You'll see that. So when I was reading the stat block, I was like, I feel like it's lacking something. Why on earth doesn't it have why does it have Mind Blast, but it doesn't have the other trademark Mind Flayer things? Like, just kind of, that would give it a little extra edge, I thought. And so it's a lack of ability to, like, use its tentacles and grapple and then extract the brain, I believe, is justified by its withering body. Now, the only reason I think it might be the case is because I read the sidebar of the variant actual Illithid Lich, get ready for it, Ulitharids.
I want to love that name, but I don't.
I think I said it in one of the previous episodes, but
yeah, you did.
But there it is. Yeah, but it's a bit painful. But yeah, it specifically describes, the actual sidebar specifically says that the strength and the muscular aspect of the body is restored and maintained by the souls fed to the phylactery, where because Alhoons don't have a phylactery, they have the periapt, and they operate differently. They don't have such a quality of life, if you will, right, or the privilege. So those things are specifically left out. They do not have the tentacle attacks. They do not have the extract brain ability because they do not have the physical prowess to do it based on their dedication and their shortcut to undeath.
That makes sense.
It does make sense, but it also makes me not like the Alhoon stat block. I find it very boring. Right. And I guess I find it as boring as, like, actually the Kieran, like, where everything is just spells and slots, and, like, the lore is cool and everything builds up to this awesome idea, but then you're like, not into it.
Again, listeners, I think we're going to change your mind in 2 weeks. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I might be a convert based on the next creature to giving PC spells to monsters.
I'm so excited for that.
It's so fucking good. It's so good. So tune in for 2 weeks for that. It's a celestial. It has spellcasting abilities. If you can guess what it is on Twitter, at EncounterPod, I will mail you a set of dice.
I love it. Yeah, and he will. He'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you this drops.
He'll do it.
What day does this drop? So this will drop September 24th.
That's the one.
So you will have up until October 7th to guess what our creature is for October 8th. It is a celestial and it has spell slots. So hit us up on Twitter at EncounterPod. If you can guess what creature it is, you will get a DM and I will ship you a set of dice.
Amazing. Yeah, there you go. I actually, when I first planned this episode, and actually, I was doing the finishing touches on it today, and I was like, I'm gonna finally do this one spot, and then I looked at it, and I actually decided not to do it. I had like one thing to do, and I decided not to do it, and that was to actually cover the Ulitharids.
Okay.
Because it's a variant stat block right next to the Alhoon. And I decided not to do it because it actually properly shares a stat block with a lich, just with variants. And the more I looked at it, that's where I actually learned that, oh, look, the Alhoon doesn't have... I noticed the Alhoon didn't have these things, and then I noticed the Illithids does. It has the extract brain, it has the tentacle attacks, and it specifies that it's because of the phylactery feeding the body. And I just thought, this doesn't apply to what we're doing. It just doesn't. It applies more to the lich side of things than the Illithid side of things. So I left it out. And
so should the Lich be our first ever combo episode where I do the Lich and you do the Ulithlich?
I think that would be no. So because the Ulithlich is not enough to do its own episode at all.
That's what I mean, like a 2-for-1. So I go through the Lich and then after you go through the Ulithlich.
Sure. Maybe.
I mean, this has been your sweet start to finish, but.
No, because I don't think we'll do it. I think we'll end up doing Lich and Demi-Lich together, and then I think the Ulithlich will be a sidebar, just like it is in the books. So
right, maybe with Deathlock.
It's interesting enough, but it's not a standalone at all. It's not enough. So what I did do though is, if you're down, we are running very long, but
this may be a two-parter.
I did we can only let so long. I did the stat block for a Neothalid, the very much maligned pronunciation of the Neothalid, which is in Volo's Guide. It's a very simple creature, but if you recall, it is what happens over a long period of time when one of the tadpoles from the Elder Brine pool is left too long without an elder brain, and it slowly turns into a purple worm-sized creature that has psionic abilities and levitation.
Okay, I'm into it. I do want to confirm that we're set on the pronunciation Neothalid.
I am. Okay. I mean, it's either Neothalid or Neothilid or Neothelid, or I mean, how would you do it?
Neothelid.
I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but neither is Cyclopes, but we did that for a whole fucking episode.
I'm calling it Neothelid. It feels right in the bones.
For the record, I have been justified. Jason Weiser from Myths and Legends pronounces it Cyclopes, so we're good.
Yeah,
we're on. So he is a real publication. We're good.
He's a real life one.
Yeah. All right. So take me through Neothalid. We've got some time here.
Okay, we're gonna go quick on this one. It's CR 13, so it's even higher.
Love it.
HP 325. I think it might be the highest HP we've seen.
That is huge. Love it.
Yeah. AC 16 natural armor, so easy to hit. It is a gargantuan creature, so also the largest creature we've covered, I think. I actually, literally yesterday, as of this recording, encountered my first gargantuan creature in game, which was a rock. But we were also on the back of a huge flying creature as well as an even larger airship. So it wasn't as daunting.
I don't want to say that that's untrue, but I think it might be untrue.
Oh, really? What else did you face?
I need to confirm. I don't want to go on records to confirm, but I think you may have faced a gargantuan creature in my game.
What creature?
I don't remember what it was.
Okay, that's why you don't want to go on record.
That's why I don't want to go on record. But I know where my notes are for it, and I know what session it was. So
okay, fair enough. Yeah, but I mean, this thing can't. It is an aberration.
I just remember dropping the pawn base and like telling you guys that wasn't big enough. Because I only have huge bases.
That I actually do recall that. But this thing is an aberration. No languages, no DR, no immunities. Excuse me, of any kind. This creature has probably the most starkly different variants of ability scores that we've covered, where the strength is 27 at a +8.
27?
Yep. Its dex
Jesus,
its
that's
dex
so high.
is 7 at a -2.
Oh my god.
Constitution's at 21 at a +5. Intellect at a 3 at a -4. Wisdom 16 +3, and charisma 12 +1. I love that its charisma is actually decent.
These are the sandworms from Doom. These have nothing to do with mind flayers.
Right? Yeah. For the saves, they have a +8 to the wisdom saves and +6 to charisma saves. They actually have a +1 to intelligence saves as well, despite their extraordinarily low intelligence.
I still can't get over that strength. 27 is so high.
27. Blind sight, 120 feet. They have the exact same creature sense as the Illitharid, except it's only 1 mile instead of 2.
Hand wash it.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite things is that they have they do have levitate at will. They're a gargantuan worm that can levitate at will. And like what I love about levitate is that you can't levitate above like 20 feet.
Giant worm gently hovering in the air, threateningly.
So gently, so fragile. It's so good. And then here's your one per day. It's not each, but it is 1 per day. Confusion, feeble mind, and telekinesis.
Those are all pretty good.
Yeah, and then magic resistance as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
And here's where we'll cover something we haven't done yet, because we haven't gone over a gargantuan creature, and I think you know where this is going. But it's tentacles. It's got tentacles, a couple of tentacles on them. It doesn't have a bite attack, but it's +13 to hit. It's a 15-foot reach. 3D.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, 3d8 +8 psychic. And if the target is larger, smaller, it's a DC 18 strength save or be swallowed.
Wow.
Not a grapple.
That is huge.
It is a swallow. And here's where we cover...
Well, even that save is only 20% chance.
Yeah, it's...
Sorry, 10% chance based on a flat D20 roll.
Without bonuses, yeah. It's straight up.
That's incredible.
And so when a creature is swallowed, they are blinded and restrained and have total cover against any attack or effect originating outside of the Neothelid, of course.
Makes sense.
At the start of the Neothelid's turn, they take 10d6 acid damage.
Yeah, that's fine.
If the Neothelid takes 30 damage or more in a single turn from a creature inside of it, it has to make a DC 18 con save or regurgitate all swallowed creatures.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a bit of an ulcer, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as somebody who's had an ulcer, like, I get it. I totally get it.
Bad news bears. All regurgitated creatures fall prone in a space within 10 feet of the Neothelid, and if the Neothelid dies, the swallowed creatures are no longer restrained and may escape by moving through the corpse at a rate of 20 feet per turn, exiting prone. Just
I don't love that.
Death crawl.
Yeah, I don't love that. I think it should be disadvantage.
Disadvantage or what?
Difficult terrain.
Difficult terrain. Yeah, that was actually, that did stand out. It is odd that it's like 20 feet per turn only. But I mean, that being said, it's like that's better than difficult terrain for most creatures.
10d6 per turn still, yeah.
And it's also like standard distance for say a dwarf. Like they run at 20 or 25, right? So
yeah, but I mean,
it's actually better than difficult terrain.
You're fucking crawling through. That's what I mean. Is like right. I think it should be difficult terrain.
Almost too good. Yeah,
like you should be crawling through it and taking 10d6 per turn until somebody cuts you out of there.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, it also has It also has a acid breath, which is a recharge 5/6, just like the Mind Blast. 60-foot cone, same. DC 18 dex save, or take 10d6 acid, which is the same as the stomach damage.
That's all right.
Success for half damage.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's it. A very, very simple, straightforward creature. We talked about its lore previously. But I just thought I'd throw that in there since I was skipping over the Illithids.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think that'd be a fun creature to run.
Yeah.
18 is a huge strength save.
Oh yeah, like it's not no slouch, and it's a CR13 creature, right? So like by that point, you are if you're facing a gargantuan creature, I mean it's still gonna be daunting, but you should have what it takes, hopefully.
Well, I mean, as somebody who's only played 5e twice, like I've only made. That's an over-exaggeration, listeners. I think I've played it 4 times now. Out of those 4 characters that I built, only one of them has been strength-based.
Right.
So,
sorry. To be clear, when he means played, he means like been a player, not a DM.
As a player, yes.
Yeah.
Been DMing for almost 5 years straight.
Yeah.
Which isn't a long time, all things considered. But I'm certainly not qualified to host this show, but it's fun.
But yeah, it's a hell of a thing. So I mean, that's it. Like, that's more or less all I have on this final part. I feel like it's a little bit less themed than the previous, but they're still essential creatures to the sort of mythos of Illithids and where they sit in a colony and that sort of thing. I like it too. I think it's really fun.
They fit that tentacle theme.
Yeah, homebrew wise, I think the only thing I would really change is. I think I would explore a Ulithrid becoming an Alhoon because I thought both stat blocks are boring, so I want to combine them. I just want to combine them. I think create something a little more powerful. I like the idea of that because the Alhoon is built that stat block is built on the idea that it's not a Ulithrid because the Ulithrid's goal is to actually become a new Elderbrain, where an Alhoon is so very different. But there's no reason why a Ulithrid wouldn't necessarily find themselves in that scenario where they would want to become an Alhoon they don't necessarily want to become an Elderbrain, and they don't necessarily want to be under the influence of one. And I like the idea of them becoming an arcanist of some kind. And
I'm intrigued by the idea, and I would like to see you play it out because those are 2 diametrically opposed viewpoints in my view.
Yeah,
because the Illithid thing is immortality, and Alhoon is one way to get there, but an Ulitharid is a certainty in getting there.
And I'll tell you exactly why my brain has gone that direction. In fact, it happened very quickly last minute. Just before we recorded this, you were running 15 minutes late. And in that 50 minutes, I came across something I didn't realize was there in the history of Alhoons. And specifically, and this is related to the history of Faerun, and in a nation called Netheril, which was very magic-centric, there was a sorcerer king. I don't know how to say his name exactly, and this is not in the notes. It's Yolaum or Ulaum. It's Ioulaum. Extraordinarily powerful wizard who invented a lot of things, including I think it's like floating cities. He had a thing called Mythala, which was like a 150-foot diameter like crystal sort of ball that allowed access to magic. And he had this famous spell called Yolaum's longevity. Where he could extend his own life, which is very reflective of what Alhoons could do. And the belief is that Alhoons actually learned this from him. And what I didn't do much research because, again, I came across it last minute. But what I do know is that basically in Netheril, they were in danger of being destroyed by a creature called the Pharim. That's a Phaerimm. They're like magic. They're also called as magic grubs and thornbacks. And they were highly intelligent aberrations that could actually cast so much power without incantations or components. They did it innately no matter what. But the only caveat was it actually sucked the moisture from the area. So that famous desert that we talked about before, the Anauroch Desert, was formed by them, and their ability to like suck life was so powerful that this wizard, this Yolaum or whatever, was at risk. So he sought lichdom and to survive, and as a result, he ended up taking in a circle or group of mind flayers who theoretically were also at risk of falling victim to this group of aberrations, and taught them the way of lichdom, which is how, again, theoretically, Alhoons were created. That was the first 9. And in the end, what I can tell you, again, without doing the research, what I can tell you is that this wizard ended up creating an undead elder brain, which he then infused his own mind to, and became an elder brain lich.
Okay, so I'm going to be straight with you. I don't own many books of previous editions.
Yeah.
But the 3.5 book, Lost Empires of Faerun, is one of the books that I do own.
Okay.
And that is the book that this is described in, this process of him becoming this undead elder brain lich.
How cool is that?
It's incredible. We'll link it in the show notes for sure, because it's such a cool book. But that idea and that concept is absolutely incredible.
Right. And there wasn't much, again, I didn't like go deep, but like I skimmed through it, and there wasn't much to go on, like to annotate, like other than that. But what a cool idea! What a cool idea! And it was one of those ones, one of those very rare ones, where it was like, it's not that it might have happened this way, or we're not sure. It was like, this is what happened. You know?
Yeah.
He did that,
and this
it was
is
like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and again, the book is The Lost Empires of Faerun from 3.5. It's incredible.
So awesome. Well, I mean, other than that addition of lore that sprung upon me, the only other thing I would explore is like, I kind of love the idea of an Alhoon being part of a hag coven, because we know that hags may or may not once in a while introduce someone else that's a high arcane sort of power user or spellcaster into their covens when it sees when it works for them. And I got the vibe from Alhoons that's a bit similar. You know, the idea is to like do what's most convenient now and extend your power and longevity. And work towards gaining more. So I'd love an Alhoon to be a part of a head coven.
I love that too. That's fantastic.
What a reveal. And like, I mean, there's your adventure. Combine those two things, like come up with a hag timeline or adventure campaign and an Alhoon one or a Mind Flayer or Illithid one, and then just smash them together if you can.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's interesting to me that we find ourselves on the opposite sides of the same argument again. As much as you love the idea of Alhoons being part of a coven, I really find myself enthralled by the idea that they are transmuters in search of something like the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
So these Alhoons are discovering this arcane magic, and they're following this transmutation magic to the ultimate end road for them, which is immortality.
Right.
And, you know, one gets fucked along the way. And as I said earlier, I want to see an Alhoon Nothic so bad.
That'd be what a mix that would be. Yeah. I love the I guess that does make me I do find myself inspired with that idea, in that the Illithids have such a elaborate colony concept, in that the Arcanists and the Alhoons would not necessarily lose that concept, but find a more independent approach. So it makes you want to explore other creatures that they would dominate and how they would use them, much more so than how a Lich would do it. Like they would have a Lich would solely do it for their own power, whereas an Alhoon or even an Illithid, I mean, they do it for the same reason, but more innately, more based on their foundation, what they've always known. They've gone up, they go up against what is part of their core. Like we said in the lore, they struggle with the idea of lichdom. It's what they feel like they need to achieve, and so they found their shortcut. But they are at a loss or at a disadvantage to achieve it. And how cool would it be for them to just maintain their core concepts of colony and hive mind, despite their freedom, and like what other creatures could they really put to use, and how do they do it? I love the idea of exploring that. It's and Nothic is such an in for that too. So cool.
See, I'd probably go like a 3-step campaign and kind of take it in a similar version of the Hag Coven. Like, take that Alhoon 3 parts, 1 failed, and they become like an Alhoon Nothic, which is, like a CR5 or CR6. Mm-hmm. That's your quarter or third of the way campaign boss. And then you fight a proper Alhoon who's legitimately become an Alhoon as, your halfway boss. And then you fight your Ulithid, the one that has ascended as the end of the adventure kind of creature.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows, man? One thing's for sure is by the end of this sort of accidental series, if you will, of Illithids, like
first of 2 this year,
the possibilities are truly endless. Like as much criticism as we can give to stat blocks, this sort of thing, these creatures have been around in one degree or another since the beginning, and Wizards has given them quite a bit of love.
The treatment's there for sure.
Yeah, and it is it's a truly remarkable set of concepts and ideas that do match up more than they don't, and it's awesome. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell us what you think, listeners. We got some great Oblex lore from our good friend Jesse over at DMs of Vancouver. They're a local podcast where they interview other dungeon masters and talking about a specific topic, where he went into detail about slithering trackers, and whereas Oblex were a warden of this prison they met in the Underdark. And we love hearing these stories. So we want to know how you would use a Ulitharid, an Alhoon, or a Neolithid, or a Mindwitness. And you can get at us via email at info@encounterthis.ca. You can hit us up on Twitter, as we said a couple of times, at EncounterPod. On Facebook, /EncounterPod. Instagram, encounter.pod, because they hate us there. You can check us out at our home on our web on encounterthis.ca. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or any other platform that supports ratings and reviewings, that would help us out so much. And if you love the show for some ungodly reason, you can hit us up on patreon.com /EncounterPod. $5 a month will get you access to our private Discord that we mentioned a couple of times. It'll get you a $5 handwritten thank you letter, as well as access to our show notes. And for $10, like at General Ham Solo on Instagram and Twitter, you can suggest a creature. He is the impromptu sponsor and inspiration for this series on Mind Flayers. And just a reminder, we've decided that we're going to have a contest. If you can guess what our next creature is, it's a celestial that uses spell slots. You can guess what that is and get at us on Twitter by October 7th. I, James, will personally hand mail you a set of game rolled dice. That's not really a selling point, but I mean...
Isn't it, though?
It's a full set of polyhedral dice from your second, third, or fourth favorite podcast. So, thank you as always, so much for listening. We could not do this without you, and you mean the absolute world to us creatures. So thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.
Bye, friends.
And good night. Oh, hey there, creatures. I didn't see you there. Welcome to another episode of Encounter This. I am your co-host, James. Can I get a witness, kid? And as... Oh, my God.
What have you done?
I don't know. I'm just going to start again.
Okay. I'll consider cutting it.
Yeah, just watch the first minute.
Oh my God.
I wanted to try that bit, and it just did not work for me.
I loved it. It was terrible, and I loved it.